Ooh, hello there. Apparently that music is from the live stream. I don't know when. It just says 2.1 live stream music. So apparently Zed music is indeed going to be in here in the live stream, which sounds really nice. It's like it gives me really good like calm beach vibes, but this is rinascita. I do not expect there to be calm beaches. In fact, interestingly enough, I don't think there really are any like beaches how we would generally think. Also just seeing this right here. One, haven't even gotten into this. Little chibi fellas. Hold up, let's full screen this. Little chibi fellas. We got little chibi rovers. That's cute. This is a new region. This is a new part of Rinascita, I believe, because I don't recognize these two like lighthouse towers. This isn't the lighthouse that we have at Reguna, and there definitely wasn't one this close. We're getting a new area to explore. I still haven't finished everything in the current area. I think I have two more places left that aren't at 100% yet. I think they're at like 80 something or 90. Um yeah, definitely new island expansion. It very much looks like it. Yeah, definitely indeed a new island expansion. Anyways, we are going to jump on into this. It's apparently about an hour. Um and then we'll watch, we'll talk, we'll do everything that we need to. I may need closed captions on. I'm just going to excuse me, French? Can I hold up? French? Uh why is that in what? Okay, we're gonna hope that also nice full screen. Uh I'm just gonna hope that they've got captions down there in English because yeah, I don't speak any of those languages. Whoops. We're gonna hope for the best here. That was odd. But yeah, we're gonna jump on in here, see what's going on. I've only seen very little, and by seen I mean student of mine showed me some things yesterday. She came in and was like, did you see the live stream? And I'm just sitting there thinking, no, I was here at work the whole time. No, I didn't get to see the live stream. And then she showed me a couple of like character stuff. um and that's gonna be cool. But other than that, I really don't know a whole lot outside of this, like some stuff that was like rumored to supposed to be in here. But we'll see if it actually is. Time to install Duolingo. No. Um. Hello, Andy. Hello and good morning from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Oh God, New Jersey. Um. How's it over there? Cherry Hill sounds so nice. Like sounds so pretty and cute. Like Cherry Hill sounds like something out of Animal Crossing. Um. But yeah, let's jump on into this. So speaking of the music, I could have just played this. Oh, look at the fish. That was just there. This is really cute. Oh my God, look at the fish. I should have just had this going on in the background. This is really cute. Look at this. It's so cute. I don't even want to skip for a moment. Like, that is so cute. Oh, I want this for... I want stuff like this for my intro screens, but I have no talent, so I can't make any of it. Dang. He caught a fish. Heck yeah. We were watching the waiting room. Yeah, you know it. Um, I'm gonna skip a little bit here. This is really cute though. Um, I wish they had numbers that were like normal. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boop.
哎呦，这给我干哪来了？这还是地球吗？哎，追错号，你怎么变成纸片人了？
啊，终端，现在是哪一年了？
They have their like. That is a very annoying sound.
追策划，难道我们穿越了？ 我们真的变成
They've
人
got
机
the
了吗？
letters of their name as their
看
eyes.
似是的。终端，终端，到底怎么回事？怎么没有反应了？
我记得我们刚刚是在2.1版本前瞻通讯录制现场，然后我就听到有人大喊：“完蛋，信号丢失了！”
啊，这难道也是我们前瞻设计的一环吗？
就算如此，这次的前瞻节目也要继续进行下去。
好的，动字化。那你还记得刚刚的台本念到哪儿了吗？
Look, one thing that you gotta give them credit for here, and I know I'm gonna pause a bit every now and then, is that like they're creative. This reminds me of like what Nintendo used to do with like the puppets with the Nintendo Directs and stuff like that. Like they're creative with it. Having just like the little anime backdrop and then the live stuff occasionally. And of course, like, you know, other games do this with their live streams too, have the little anime characters. But I do feel like the creativity is there. That this is something that's unique and new now for them to be doing. I don't think they did this in previous updates. I think it was always like live people. And I might be wrong. I didn't see the live stream for every single update, especially like pre-release and stuff. So I might be wrong there, but this does seem pretty unique.
我来找找。哦，是这里。各位漂泊者们，大家好，欢迎收看明朝2.1版本前瞻通讯。我是东策划，又和大家见面啦。
大家好，我是 J 策划，很高兴再次见到各位漂泊者。
在2.0版本《至缄默隐欢歌》中，
Their outfits
我
are
们和
also
大家
kind
在
of
拉
cool.
古纳一起度过了一段难忘的狂欢节时光。现在狂欢虽已落幕，但是感觉黎娜西塔的故事其实只是揭开了冰山一角啊。
是的，残星会、修会、拉古纳城的2大家族、愚人剧团，还有我们在2.0版本主线最终遇到的卡提西亚，感觉大家之间的关系十分复杂。
The Italian
这个
elf.
黎娜西塔的故事啊，绝对是不简单的哟。
那么在马上就要到来的2.1版本，我们是不是也应该去黎娜西塔更多的地方看看啦？
是的，2.1版本，漂泊者们将前往黎娜西塔的一块全新
I
区
knew
域
we'd
哦
be。getting new areas. Is
你的
it
意思
south?
是
Is it
2.1 版
the
本
southern
还会有新
area?
地图咯？
没错，大家都知道，黎娜西塔其实是分布了非常丰富的水域。我们这次的新地图也和水有着非常大的联系。
I like
和
water.
水有非常大的联系，听起来在2.1版本，贡多拉能够派上很大的用场啊，比如去探索更为广阔的海洋。
说到海洋啊，总是拥有着各种神秘且精彩的传说。这一次呢，各位漂泊者将从拉古纳向北出发，开拓
North,
全
okay.
新的海上区域黎乔利群岛。听说，在这个名为黎乔利的群岛上，生活着一群以捕鱼为生的人与深海，他们都拥有着高超的捕鱼技巧。这次的2.1版本，漂泊者们来到这里，我想一定要和岛上的住民们好好学习一番捕鱼技巧，
Learn
成为
some
捕
okay.
鱼达人。
哎，等等
Fishing
等等
experts
对照号快看，海面上好像出现了什么不明生物。
哪里？我看看。哇哦！看来黎娜西塔的
Well
海洋也并不一直都是风平浪静啊。
不知道那边到底发生了什么事情。一想到新版本又有紧张刺激的新挑战，漂泊者们一定。
Okay. I again pause here. Imagine underwater exploration in Wua. That's what it was just about to get at. How are they going to make the exploration of these waters interesting? Because this is always a big issue, I feel, for games that feature a lot of water, and that is making exploring the sea and being on a boat fun. Unless your game is entirely like developed around it and based around it. You think like Assassin's Creed Black Flag or like Sea of Thieves. Like boat mechanics typically are not fun. I would even go as far as to say as like even like the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, where you spend a great deal of time on the boat. The boat mechanic isn't really that enjoyable. You just kind of sit there and steer. It's the enjoyability is in finding new things in the ocean and finding new islands and then exploring said islands off the boat. The most fun I've had with boat stuff is actually Sea of Thieves. And I don't think we're gonna get that. I doubt Rover is gonna be crewing a pirate ship, though that would be really, really, really cool, and also make co-op maybe more interesting. Devs, hmm? But I do wonder how they're gonna make the water exploration more interesting. And again, underwater exploration in WoW would be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind that if it's done well. I will give Genshin great credit. I don't particularly want to like compare things to Genshin. It's not the point of what we're doing here today. But like, Fontaine's underwater exploration was really, really good. It was one of the things that I think really helped bring that region together and make it enjoyable to play. So I'm hoping Kuro has something equally as fun for exploring islands because, admittedly, one of the reasons why I think we don't see as many pirate or water themed uh games and like regions and things that are about the actual exploring of the waters is because one, water levels in areas tend to have a kind of a bad rep. Ocarina of Time's water temple. And two, even though I actually love that water temple now that I'm older. And two, they're hard to do. They're hard to make fun. So I'm cautious, but somewhat expectant. Kuro has done pretty well at making exploring fun and fast and feel fluid. And I want to know what they do with that. Maybe we get like modified wings that allow us to dive and, you know, underwater flight, but like it's swimming. This one's still floating around in the head there, but there's an idea maybe. I don't know. We'll see where they go with it.
也和我一样都摩拳擦掌了吧？那除了新区域外，漂泊者近期在2.1应该还会遇到一些别的特殊的事情。
那当然是有的啦。相信很多漂泊者都对2.0版本中与克莱塔同行的金库潜入剧情记忆犹新吧。然而大家或许不知道的是，这个金库它其实还有很大的地下空间。在2.1版本中，我们就可以去探索这个奢华非常、
Oh, we're gonna get to
强度极高的
rob a
区域
vault again?
金库地下空间啊，我就喜欢潜入这种神秘又危险的地方。
Bank robbing simulator, Payday 2,
关于
this
这
you?
次金库行动，漂泊者还将和菲比、赞妮一起同行，也请大家期待在这次的全新任务中，漂泊者会和他们一起遇到什么样的新故事吧。
Zani the Vault
那么
Guard?
具体的行动以及里面的各类玩法，等会儿我们去经过的时
Yeah,
候
robber
再和大家
simulator,
详细介绍
exactly.
吧。
哦，还在卖关子，赶紧走吧。
哈哈，别急别急别急，这开场白我们说了那么久，不如接下来我们眼见为实，就让我们一起来看看2.1版本的全新 PV 吧。
Okay.
哦，等等
Let's
等等，
see.
在
What?
看 PV 之前，咱们穿上海岛风光的捕鱼装，才更有沉浸感嘛。当当当当。
牛逼啊
Okay, so it seems like fishing is going to be the big way they make this interesting. It is pretty, like...
I've heard rumors that the Montelli Vault holds the most valuable treasure in all of Laguna. Aside
the
from
echoes.
a handful of senior members of the Montelli family, no one knows the full layout of this vault?
The device from Lady Carlotta should have top security clearance, so you'll be able
Bro,
to
what?
operate the train echo. We're stuck here for now, and the only way out is to get clearance from each of the depositories. That means going deeper into the vault.
What? Why do you have a ferret in
There
your
you
pants?
are.
Guys, this pocket ferret?
This echo seems to have a headache. I'm trying to help.
Phoebe gameplay. She flies.
In the name of Imperator.
Creates disco.
Crystals, give me strength. May the Sentinel guide those who are lost.
Okay.
Exactly. If we want something from the sea, we have to offer something in return.
What is this
So,
smooth moves
what
man?
comes next?
What is that? Also, that's Elga Town. That is an anchor. Camellia would like her kit back. What is this?
Keep the cheers coming.
You just murdered that bear. Whale.
The Tidebreaker attacked us.
He and his crew did indeed brave the treacherous stormy sea and returned with immense wealth.
I think I sensed their pain and anger.
Looks like to claim Drake's treasure, one must pay a price equal to its worth.
Huh. Hey,
飞
Mimo.
鸟精明，
Um,
望桃欢。
Okay, interesting. One Drake's treasure. Isn't that like the... Wasn't like that the name of a dude in like the Uncharted series or something? I don't know. I've never like played the series. I've only seen a little bit of it. Like that's just what went through my head when that was happening. Interesting. Is that the only trailer? Because that seems like okay, we're going into a vault beneath the Montelli place, which is like apparently its own underground, like massive, crazy labyrinth. Is that going to be like an underground explorable? Think like the lower levels of the Black Shores, right? Yeah, because what you're saying there in chat, it's not a vault, it's a whole underground dungeon. Yeah, is this going to be like the underground area of the Black Shores? Or is this just going to be like a sonorosphere that we go in? Like a dungeon we explore once and like maybe twice and then we're done with it. We've cleared the thing. Is it gonna be like that? I don't know. I don't know. That didn't really give me... It didn't really give me the vibes that that was going to be a super, hold on. I have the trailer up here as well. Well, at least some of it, right? Phoebe, Brandt, before Phoebes. Like this, right? This doesn't, like, you've got these things going on. This makes me feel like this is maybe like a sonorosphere kind of a setup. It's gonna be very puzzle based. But again, it might just be a specific little area of it. I might just not have a... You think it's going to be like Underground Black Shores? Okay, interesting. I don't know. This... I mean, maybe. Like, can we get up to here? Because there's some details up here, but Kuro loves to throw details everywhere, so that's nothing really indicative of exploration, per se. So, it doesn't seem to show much, though, but you definitely think it's something that, like, the Teth is deep. Okay, yeah, that would make sense, then, if they are going with that. It just seems interesting that they're going to have this, then, this sort of Teth is deep area, right? This underground zone that I guess we're going to access from the Montelli vault. Now, unless there's another vault that's going to be on this new island, this area is already, right below the Montelli place that we were already at, which is oddly enough in the air, kind of. So, like, how do we get down here? There's some, like, weird, impossible geometry going on here. But it just seems strange to me that we're going to have this, like, underground new area, if we do, that's over here by the Montelli area, and then this new area that's now up north, completely in its own separate zone, which is also up north. Because north is where they sent all of the pilgrims, and they hit Pentinen's End, which is what made me think that there wouldn't be anything north of Pentinen's End. There wouldn't be, like, any other habitable area up there. Else, like, why even do that? I don't know. It seems very strange. Ragusi. Oh my god, Mima. You saw, like, the clouds and birds? Interesting. There's a rideable train mechanism. Yeah, my guess is that the train thing... Well, we've seen the train, though, before, right? We saw the train in, 2.0, because Carlotta during the main quest mentioned, oh, I need to catch a train out of here. So these are the trains, these fish. We see her do that when we go on the gondola ride with Carlotta in the main quest of 2.0. We see the train, right? We see her get on it and then zoop, and the train is just this big fish. So train isn't anything new. Train is just train. But now we're actually going to experience it. And odds are probably have like minecart kind of gameplay, if you will, maybe. Where we gotta like adjust the tracks and stuff. That's just my guess. Hello, Neil. Neil. I'm assuming Neil. It's just it's Neil. That's just 2 E's. I can't read. Welcome. But yeah. So again, I don't know if this is going to be Tethys deep kind of size or if it's going to be smaller. You guys seem to think Tethys deep. We get some Phoebe.
Oh, there you are.
Again, the fact that she just pulls a ferret out of her pocket. Why pocket ferret? Why take train when you have Tub Pup? Because you want to get somewhere within a timely manner. Tub Pup is slow, my dude. Tub Pup is a snail's pace. I love Tub Pup, but man, Tub Pup's got to pick it up a little bit here. We got to put Tub Pup on put some like nitro fuel in Tub Pup. Why not pocket ferret? Like, what else does Phoebe have in her pockets? Apparently a whole ferret. Do you like Phoebe's animations? Well, we haven't seen all of them. This is what I wanted to look at here real quick.
Oh, this Echo seems to have a headache. I'm trying to help.
So new echoes, we're gonna, at least a few of them, little small guys. We'll probably be able to get these little like one cost guys they look like.
Hi.
So look how happy she looks. She just loves it. Crap, I wanted to, not that far. Well, when you hold it down, it speeds things up in YouTube. YouTube Live. She's got like, so she flies around on a broom. Guys, I did not expect Phoebe to fly on a broom. Like, that just didn't strike me as Phoebe to make her have like the witch imagery, for lack of a better term. The witch imagery was she's giving me witch vibes. Yeah, that doesn't strike me as Phoebe. And the thing is like, I like Phoebe's design. Truly, I do like Phoebe's, like, her outfit. I like the very simple art style. Simple is maybe. I like the very clean, simple, elegant. There's nothing like, it fits her personality. She's part of the clergy. Like, there's nothing like sexualized or anything like that. There really isn't even any. We can go back to kind of the beginning of it here. Like, if you look at her, like, there's honestly just like no bare skin really showing. This is like Victorian style, like cannot show ankle. Yeah, this is a bit short. We're seeing a lot of thigh, but anime game, what do you expect? Overall, I really like her design. Why the witch thing with the broom, though, and the flight? Also, like, okay, she can fly. We all can fly now in rinascita. So, is she just, like, flight for non-rinascita area? And, like, her flight is probably going to be attached to some sort of stamina counter or some sort of meter. So it's just like, I don't know, maybe her combat is just based around flight. It looked like it was a little bit. I was expecting, you thought she'd be more elegant, to be honest. A little bit, yeah. You thought she'd levitate or something. I thought she was going to do, and we're going to see here in a second.
Oh, there you are.
I was not thinking she was going to have a ferret.
Oh, this Echo seems to have a headache. I'm trying to help.
Yeah, I'm trying to help by murder.
Hi.
So she does that. This.
In the name of Imperator.
She whips out what looks like her iPad. What was that?
Name of
No. Let's go back a little bit. What? She whips out her cell phone and is just like, nah, bro, I got the light show for you. Boing!
name of Imperator. Repent! Crystals, give me strength!
I thought she was. This is actually a really cool shot. Like the break. Whoa, actually, hold up. What is going on over here to the left? iPad kid, yeah. The glow does give more elegance. You like it? I do like it. You think that's her bookmark? Girl's got the fanciest bookmark I've ever seen. Back in my day, we just used pieces of paper. We had these old cardboard bookmarks that we would get from the bookstore. Like, dang. Now the iPad kids uses their phone as bookmarks. It's crazy. This is we've got the shattering again. This is like Carlotta's, right? There's the shattering with the self. That's her. But that's like her in the past, maybe? It doesn't look like a current her. It looks like a younger her. Like, and again, she's shattering something. One thing I do hope eventually gets shattered with her. Also, is she the cerulean bird? Like, cause she's blue. She's blue and white. And she flies like a bird. I do hope that she very much. I don't want her to like completely just renounce her faith, but I would like for her to obviously become more disillusioned with the order. And I'm assuming that's going to happen with her character as they go on. But yeah, there seems to be a lot of the idea of shattering in rinascita, like the shattering again, Carlotta shattering in her burst. Phoebe is now in hers. This idea of breaking through barriers, which very well may be the barrier of oppression in rinascita. So she gives you heavy card captor vibes. You love it. Mimo, you're right. Card captor Sakura. Yeah. I haven't seen that since I was like a kid. My sister used to watch that. You're right. I see that actually. Actually in here, there's so many things in here. There's a lot of imagery because there's like the banner of rinascita, but that is not quite the seahorse. Is it like the full version of the sentinel? Because the sentinel is like the tidebreaker and the seahorse combined, I think, right? And then we have the birds again. Is she really the cerulean bird, perhaps? This was actually a really good frame to pause on because there's so many details here. It's an interesting theory, but they need to go over in the next quest. Yeah, I want to see where they keep going with the story of this because the shattering imagery is huge with these characters so far. Her and Carlotta both have it. Rocia doesn't, and I don't think Brandt's going to. But you'd have to think, right? They aren't really Rocia and Brandt aren't really under the oppression of Raguna in the same sense that these individuals who live in Raguna are. The Montellis, Phoebe, they still live there. Rocha and Brandt were exiled. They're somewhat, almost paradoxically free of Raguna and the order's chains because of their exile. And of course, yeah, they were allowed back in by the end of 2.0, but still very interesting. I expected with animations, with Phoebe, I expected her to have like teleport kind of animations. Like almost think like Aerith, Final Fantasy VII, the remake one, right? Where remake or rebirth, one of them does this, right? Where she puts down like this field and then can teleport into that field. Like I was thinking she'd have like some sort of like sigil kind of gameplay like that, where she'd put down these fields and then be able to like teleport between them, almost in a Zezha style, but with perhaps greater range and a little more flexibility. I was expecting more teleportation with her. I really was not expecting her to be, again, the witch imagery is just, I don't know, something I wasn't really, I just didn't see for her. We'll see how it is in actual gameplay. Um, but yeah, I like Phoebe. I'm interested in Phoebe as a character. Brandt, let me get water. Let me think about Brandt here. Brandt's gonna be a fella. Hold on.
May the Sentinel guide those who are lost.
Exactly.
This music also, exactly. Look at that face, bro.
If we want something from the scene, we have to offer.
He has like, what is this pose? Also, my man, you are about to not enjoy life. What did I just pause on? These pause frames are crazy. He has a gun that shoots a grapple. Again, is it just me or does his animations remind me heavily of Camellia?
For something in return.
Look at it,
So,
swinging
Captain,
in.
Ready for what comes next?
He's swinging around like he's freaking Spider-Man.
Listen carefully.
Like this, that's an anchor.
In the limelight.
That's gotta be his burst, right? What that? Hi, Camellia would love her spinny spin back. Excuse me? There is only one Camellia. We do not need male Camellia. One Camellia is enough Camellia. She's crazy enough for everyone.
Victory's mine.
Like, it's almost like this swing. Like, listen to these sounds, too, when it does it.
Victory's mine.
It's almost like wind-like. It's like Tempest-like. But he is not a arrow character, right? Isn't he like a fusion character or something? Did they confirm that yet? I feel like I remember people speculating that he'd be fusion. But yet those noises feel like a tempest, like wind, which I feel like would fit his sea kind of thing a lot. He's fusion, a bird told you. The Cerulean bird? Bro has inside info on the Cerulean bird. Again, the rumors people speculate is fusion, right? And I think they speculate, I mean, Phoebe looks Spectro is Lord knows what. If you tell me Phoebe isn't Spectro after the color scheme and everything we just saw, and she turns out to be like, actually, Phoebe is Havoc or something, I'm going to be like, Kuro, we just can't anymore with them. But like his sounds and everything feels very Tempest-like, which fits like the boat and everything, but it's just so strange.
Keep the cheers coming.
Yeah, we don't see a whole lot there with him. He's apparently in Elga Town. I don't know. Gameplay-wise, I feel like overall I'm more interested in Phoebe, both character-wise and how her gameplay is going to work, than I am Brandt. I like Brandt. I think Brandt has a very cool design. I don't know if I'm going to like his gameplay if he's basically the same kind of movement and style, or at least very similar to Camellia, because as much as I love Camellia, one of the things that does bother me is her Vine gameplay makes you extremely immobile. It tends to be really annoying to dodge things. You can obviously do it, and if you know what you're doing, you can just fly above the enemy and they'll just miss you 90% of the time while you're slapping them in the head. But like, I don't know if I want that for Brandt. I don't think Brandt's gonna be that way because I don't think it looks like he can hang in the air for that long. It looks like that's just kind of a skill-based thing, and he'll do it for a couple of animations and then peace out. But I definitely don't want another Camellia-style moveset there. One Camellia, I think, is enough for that. But that's just my opinion here on the characters. I'm not going to look at the rest of this because they haven't revealed it yet in the live stream, it looks like. His attack, he attaches his vine to the enemy, so he tethers to the enemy. So it might be more comfy, you guess, unless you auto lock on the wrong target, which would be my luck. Okay, let's keep going.
欢唱。
从版本名字来看，这是个蛮惬意的版本的。
It'll be
不
pretty
过
chill.
从 PV 中看，好像也有很多惊险的奇遇。
Yeah, okay, I know I keep pausing, but this is why you watch reactions, right? For pauses. If I didn't pause and I just sat here and I could just have a chair and it could just be a chair reacting. That is something I am a little concerned about, is that I did notice in the trailer and everything, it does feel a little calm. This feels almost like an interlude chapter than anything. Like, hey, we're gonna go on this area here, and what's the big exciting thing? We go into a vault and then we go fishing? Like, is this gonna connect back to the main story? I'm a little concerned here, but
藏在这个惬意的
we'll
名
see.
字之下。
哎，没错的，这就需要漂泊者们一点一点的拨开迷雾，探寻事件的真相，见证传闻中的各种宝藏啦。
说到宝藏，是时候给大家送上一份本次前瞻通讯的兑换码了。大家记得及时兑换领取哦。
You don't think being attacked by Cetus is relaxing in any way? Okay. Also, make sure you get this if you haven't already. I already got him last night because I saw on Twitter they had him posted. Okay, sure. Being attacked by the whale isn't... Did I just hear a tub pup? Yes, that is tub pup.
相信大家也都在
Oh wow, that did not last long. I wanted to talk through that. Being attacked by the whale, sure, is not comfy and relaxing. Yes, I agree. However, is that going to be a major part of this particular arc? Or is it just going to be at the intro, we get attacked and then wash up on this island? Like, is this just going to be a means for getting us to this island? Because if so, then, you know, who knows? Of course, do we get a stranded arc? I tend to like stranded arcs. Look, I played East 8 Lacrimosa of Donna. I don't know why I like my own voice just like lagged there. Yeah, I played East 8 Lacrimosa of Donna. That entire game is a stranded on an island arc mixed with other craziness. Like, I like that trope. So if they do that and they play into it, I'm not complaining. I just don't know if this is going to have the same level of narrative intrigue that 2.0 had so far. But again, I'm speculating off of very little info. I think you have a point because they only ever mentioned him in the trailer once. Yeah.
漂泊者们曾在拉古纳遇到的银海修会的教士菲比和鱼人剧团的布兰特将正式登场。相信大家在之前的剧情中都已经对他们有所了解了。来，这策划给大家再介绍一下吧。
好嘞，那我先介绍一下菲比吧。
Okay, Phoebe, let's see some gameplay for her. She plays with wraiths. She does have the card. Oh my, and that is her bookmark. Yeah, she is card captor like crazy. That is such a, like, nah, back up, Chief. That is so pretty. Like, the just general atmosphere of it and everything. This is gonna be her, like, freaking convene animation, right? Because then over here, you could see you could have Phoebe, 5-star, whatever. It gives the room. They typically do this. That's really pretty. I love just the very clean aesthetic of this is really nice. And again, look at her outfit. I love the little boots. The boots are really cute. And like her entire outfit is great. I really love her design. Like Phoebe's design is absolutely amazing, and I really love it. Yeah, pretty. Yeah, it's very pretty. It really is. It's very, very pretty. the blue and the white. Blue and white go very well together, especially this rather darker blue here that they have. It's almost like a royal blue. And there's a little bit of black accents that are there, which obviously go well with white as well. I think the blonde on her obviously is nice. Yeah, she has this very aesthetic color palette that is just really nice. I think she's a very prettily designed character, and it goes to show you can have a character who looks really nice, really well designed without like really any kind of sexualization. Again, she's in like full leggings. You can't This is the most scandalous part of skin you see right here is a wrist, other than like her face. Wrist. Like, and yet she's going down as one of the best designed characters in terms of outfits, at least in my opinion, that I can think of in this game. Um, but again, as Freya tends to tell me, I have a Victorian fashion sense. So, yeah. Um, maybe I'm not the best judge for this. I suppose my idea of quality fashion may be a bit outdated and prudish, but I do really like how she looks. And also, big hat. I like big hat.
菲比是一名衍射属性的五星
Spectro,
共鸣
yep.
者，他使用鹰感应武器。作为银海修会的一名教士，菲比是岁主的虔诚教徒。平日里，菲比和大多教士一样，
It's cool
帮着处理
animation.
修会的日常事务。不过特别的是，他从小就很喜欢生孩，有着很特别的生孩亲近的体质。但碍于
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, but due to the doctrines of the faith, we saw this, what I was about to say right before we get into this. She's not allowed to be around echoes much, or she shouldn't interact with them much. And yet in 2.0, we kind of see her already break from that a little bit because she does. She goes looking for these echoes and she knows them by name. And she has like a whole crew of them, and she seems to really love them.
神职人员不应对生孩抱有情感的教义。菲比时刻约束自己，与生孩朋友们保持距离。
其实我很能理解菲比，黎娜西塔有那么多可爱的生孩，换成我也很难保持距离啊。
哈哈，放心，我听说啊，菲比下班之后也会偷偷去找自己的生孩朋友，
Yeah,
悄悄
see.
地满足一下那份喜爱。
我看刚才的视频中，菲比似乎能乘着手杖战斗。
是的，我们围绕着菲比圣职的身份，对她的战斗技能进行了
By
设
her
计。
role as an acolyte. Yeah, an acolyte of the church, not an acolyte of a witch convent. Like, what? Or coven, rather. Do you think one of her passes would be that echoes would attack her or won't attack her if not provoked? I doubt it. Like, what do you mean one of her passives? Like, one of her, like, big main passives on, like, the center line of her tree? Or just, like, a general passive kind of a thing, like Shorekeeper's Exploration kind of passive. I don't think she'll have anything like that. Maybe having her in her party will increase the odds of echoes dropping or something. That might be cool because they said she's a magnet for echoes. But I just don't see, like, what would be the point of not having echoes attack you if she's on the field? Like, you're gonna I don't know about you, but I tend to be the aggressor when it comes to the fighting echoes. So I don't think that's gonna make much of a difference. I see echo, I absorb echo. So it ain't gonna help me much. Her weapon looks crazy though. Biblically accurate rectifier? What? And this area too that she's fighting in, is this gonna be like a Sonor Sphere domain? Because we have like, yeah, this is kind of cool. No, this is quite interesting. Again, I thought you'd like summon fields on like the ground and teleport to them.
在战斗特效的展现方面，菲比采用了类似镜子与多段
Mere
光
like
线的折射效
multi-segment
果。
light
使
reflection.
用技能
Okay.
时就可以看到神圣夺目的金色光效。 使用重击时会有光芒更为强烈的金色射线从天而降。使用共鸣技能可以召唤镜
Summons
之
a
环。
ring of mirrors.
当
We
菲
do
比
have a little
附近
field
存
down
在镜
there.
之环且在环外的时候，再次使用共鸣技能还能传送到
She
环内。
teleports back.
再
Okay,
配
so
合
she
菲
does
比
do a
在空中
teleport.
攻击可以
But-
循着手杖滑翔，便会呈现出灵活且丰富的战斗体验。
Interesting.
技能瞬移，又能与对手拉开距离，这操作太爽了吧！它还有没有其他特性？再具体讲一
Tell
讲
us
呗。
more about tell us more about her combat style as we just casually
圣
hold
火
up
木的金色光效，
as we just
使用重
casually
击时
show
可
her
以召唤，再次使用
flying
手杖滑翔，便会
through
呈
the
现
air.
出
Get back to
灵活
that, Chief.
这操作太爽了吧！它还有没有其他特性？再具体讲
Like-
一讲。
Excuse me? She's like, yeah, nah, I'm just gonna do my own thing now. Zip zoom.
呗。
那我再多透露一些吧。开启变奏技能入
That's a
场，菲
beam
比的全身还会被半透明的金色镜片包裹。接着，镜片逐渐破碎的这一过程将对周围
Okay
造成伤害。开启共鸣解放时，菲比会将手中的光辉凝聚，用力击碎后还会发出耀眼的光芒，也彰显着属于圣职者的神圣之力。
Coming for a holy
除
roll,
此
yeah,
之外，
sure.
菲比其实还有一个特殊
That is such a cute, like, little pose. I love how all of the characters have their own cute little poses and things. Like everybody's pose is relatively unique. I think the only similar ones are Yang Yangs and Rovers. But everyone's like weapon pose and pose for just standing is really unique. I love that.
的定位，它是明朝全新战斗体系异常效应下的一名共鸣者
Navigate what?
我们结合异常效应中的光照效应，设计了菲比的
Okay
技能和战斗机制。后续大家再与菲比共同
Nobody's surprised that she's Spectrofrazzle, right? Like, this didn't surprise anyone at all. We knew that they were not just going to have Spectro Rover be Spectrofrazzle, right? Like,
作战时，应该能感受到新机制带来的与众不同的战斗体验。
菲比的技能真是诠释了眼色的特点啊！我刚刚还注意到菲比那根独特的手杖，
yeah, her staff
感
is
觉技
cool.
能动作都离不开它。
观察得如此仔细吗？这根手杖可不只是菲比的战斗利器，它还有其他神奇的用途。
哦，
Yeah,
比
it
如
captures
可爱
cards.
纯真的菲比相信，一定力度的击打可以让思绪放空，思考停止。作为圣职者，当遇到他认为需要冷静下来的生孩或者人类，这个手杖就会成为让大家放空大脑的最佳帮手哦。哎，东泽华，你最近有烦恼吗？可以找菲比。
There's no way that there's no way she's just like, yeah, I got the cure for you. Bonk. Nah. There's definitely like a spell that she casts when it doesn't like, nah, that dude's gonna pop back up and be like, thanks, I feel great. He is not gonna drop completely unconscious. There's no way. There's no way that she's like, yep, this bonking someone in the head is the way to cure this. She is not that violent. I don't buy that. That's a nice bait there, Chief, but I don't buy that one.
比敲一敲脑袋，放空思绪哦。
啊，那一半，那可不得停止思考，总觉得有点不对劲。
此外，在 2.1 版本中，全新的5星音感仪和光回唱也将同步上线。这把
Yeah,
武器的
biblically
形
accurate
状是一把
rectifier.
赞美诗，两边展开，犹如是衔之鸟的翅膀，与菲比圣职者的
cool.
身份契合。
It
在菲
is
比
really
喜欢的
pretty. It's
故事
really
里
unique.
它能够跨越风浪，带来幸运。中心散发水晶光辉。
I'm gonna be honest though, if I had Phoebe and I had this rectifier, or even if I didn't, I'd be using the invisible one just to make it look like she casts from her staff. Pretty weapon hole. Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. I'd still make it invisible though. I'd still do the invisible one just to make sure that it looks like her staff's the thing that's doing the magic, because I think that's cooler.
明而璀璨，是菲比对岁主的虔诚，也是他对自由和美好的期望。
这
Bird?
把武器的象征意义听着真美好啊，确实很适合菲比。那么介绍完菲比，该轮到我们的船长了。最后哈，再和我们介绍一下另外一位共鸣者布兰特吧。
Okay,
说之前
Brandt
他
time.
被称为火焰舞台的归王者呢。
Is that crystal solvent in her free resin? Dang. Birds? Bro, don't set the boat on fire. that's his
布
thing.
兰
That's
特
pretty
是
cool.
热熔属性的
5-star
5星共鸣
fusion.
者
Okay.
他使用训刀作为武器。大家在
He has a
2.0
really
版本
cool
中也已
sword.
经和他相
Like, look at that. That is super cool looking. What the hell? And yet he fights primarily with a damn anchor.
处过一段时间了。布兰特从小不愿意被教义所束缚，向往自由。
That is
而现
also
在
cool
他是
bird.
愚人剧团的团长和精神领袖。他性格张扬，喜欢展现自己，成为众人的焦点，且乐在其中。
Yeah, he is
当然
very
他更
flamboyant.
是大家的好伙伴，总是带领着船员在大海的风暴中勇
So
敢
what
前
is he
进，
gonna
找到
do
辉煌的
exactly?
方向。
听着似乎不太靠谱，又相当靠谱。不过，这种随性自由的感觉正是布兰特。
那确实，
That is a
关
gun
于布
though,
兰
isn't
特
it?
还有很
It's
多
a
有趣的
sword.
过往传闻，就如同刚刚的幻曲动画一样，火焰与舞台。他的故事有如海浪一般张狂，漂泊者们可以在此版本中逐步了解哦。
Okay, so we get
愚
story
人剧
quest,
团
yeah.
总是在船上活动，那么作为剧团长，布兰特也是一位优秀的船长。就像经常在海上航行，需要吃点橘子补充维生素一样，他的动作与技能想必也带有船长的特点才对吧？
那必须的。布兰特船长的技能
Brandt
动作
both
有一套
scurvy.
自己独特的表演风格，极具船长的不羁特色。细焰钩索与巨大的船锚
Course goes
是布兰
revolve
特
around,
技能
yeah,
设计的
massive
两大重点。
anchor.
比如使用共鸣技能时，布兰特可以弹飞至空中，升至空中后，他使
He
用配
does,
枪
yeah, he
射
does
出钩索
latch on
发
and
起
uses
多
to
段
shoot a
空中摆弹
grapple.
攻击，飞荡、旋转、跳跃、下落，是他独具特色的战斗戏码。此外，布兰特使用变奏技
Yeah, I don't
能时，
think the sword
钩
is
索会牵引着他划过天穹，仿佛要将战场推向戏剧高潮。换来观众们喝彩的同时，他会传递热烈与激情。
God,
去
between
辅
him
助
and
支援连
Carlotta,
内
like
与
you
战
could
斗的
jump
队友
and flippy
还
dippy
有
around
当
everywhere.
布兰特发动共鸣解放时，会唤出巨大的船锚，
Giant
踏着它
anchor,
一
yeah.
起飞荡而下，撞飞敌人。
晴朗的碧空与流畅的空战，
Huh.
真是明媚且充满动感的画面啊！我
I
们
mean,
的
it's
布兰
kinda
特船
cool.
长，
Again, it's
这么
very
帅的船长
mobile,
必须拥有一把
mobile.
趁手的武器。赶快把我们的新训刀端上来吧！
哎，这不就来了吗？全新5星
Yeah,
训
that is
刀
a
无面
really
航路
cool
也将在
sword.
2.0
Is there a pistol? It looks very gun-like, but I don't think that is a pistol. I don't think there'd be anything that could come out of that because it's pushed down against the blade. So I don't think that's a pistol. But that is really, really nice looking. Might still say for Italian elf. Yeah, it's. Listen, both of these seem cool. The most cool thing so far, the coolest thing so far is from Brandt is the fact that he's got the grapple for mobility and can attach to enemies and pull himself in. So cool. And Phoebe has some really cool animations, and she's Spectrofrazzle, which I feel like is going to be a fairly strong niche to play into. Of course, we do have Spectral Rover for that. Which I actually used Spectral Rover in the most recent tower update. I'd had Camellia, Spectral Rover, and Mortifee of all characters. And Mortifee is cracked with the new Echo set, the off-field damage buffing, the coordinated attack buffing one. Really good. Which does make me wonder, like, are we going to get more coordinated attackers? Because really, who do we have for coordinated attack? Rocha to some extent, but not really. Is Cardathea gonna end up being that at one point? Is Zani going to end up being that? Like, who's gonna be our coordinated attacker of rinascita? What are you using Spectro Rover for? You have no idea what his kit does. The hell kind of setup is that? Look, you don't need Mortifee is good support. Also, my Camellia is cracked. Spectro Rover after 2.0 can do Spectrofrazzle. Like, that's why you use Spectro Rover now. That's why Spectro Rover is able to compete with Havoc Rover and may or may not be better in certain situations now because of Spectrofrazzle. It's basically a damage over time. So yeah, I like Spectro Frazzle. I like Spectro Rover. I've always liked Spectro Rover. I always built and preferred Spectro Rover over Havoc, anyways. So yeah, being able to combine Spectro Rover with Mortifee is really good because geez, there's some damage. And then Camellia is there just to do the big damage. But it's great. Um, but yeah, I think Phoebe is going to be pretty good because of the Spectro Frazzle. Obviously, will be better and more consistent than Spectro Rover will be. Um, but it's like, do I don't know. I really need to know that gameplay of hers more and like really experience it and know what all of her abilities do. Because I like Phoebe. Again, I love her design. I think she's great. You just realize that you're using the new set damage over time effect now on Rover. Yes, I am. Yep. I do have that on Rover now. Yep. And that's what Phoebe's gonna be using. That's gonna be her set. Um, and I'm trying to think what else. Like I also there's a part of me that also wants to get Brandt for a couple of reasons. Number one, again, I don't know what role he's playing. Like they didn't tell us, what he does. Yeah, he swings in an anchor. We don't even know what Phoebe does per se. Like we don't know what roles they play. Are they DPS? Are they coordinated? Again, I don't think any of them are coordinated attacks. I don't think we've seen anything that would indicate coordinated attacks. Um like, are they support? Like, what is each role here? Because if one of them is a support character, like a healer, a buffer, a shielder, like especially like a healer and buffer or a healer and shielder, those are worth getting. Really, our only healers are Verena and Shorekeeper right now. Baija doesn't really count much. But of course, the counter argument to that is you don't need healers if you just don't get hit. You can put any kind of healing set onto a character and then just use the one echo that heals you and boom, activate the set with that character through the echo to heal. And anybody can play into that echo set if you wanted. Or if you wanted to use like fallacy instead, you could run it with two different things. So like there's an argument to be said that like you don't need strict healer support characters if you're good enough to just not get hit. So it's like, I don't know. I think really for me, it's going to be down to rule of cool. Who do I think is the coolest character for getting? I really am interested in Phoebe. I also would like to get Brandt potentially because male character. And if Kuro sees that male characters do well, they might make more male characters. There is a severe lack of male characters in this game. There's also a severe lack of 4 stars. Like, where are rinascita's 4-star characters, Kuro? I should have put that on the feedback thing from last night when I did the feedback survey. I forgot to. Where are 4-star characters? We have such a lack of 4 stars that it's most of my 4-star characters at this point are almost maxed constellation. I think other than like Yoo-Hoo, and then I just don't have Lumi at all, incidentally. Like these are like the only ones that are not almost maxed, like not S4 to 5 or 4 to 6. You want to hear what the cerulean bird said? Well, we'll find out. We'll find out what the cerulean bird says perhaps by the end of this. But this is a really cool sword. I love the look of this. I love the design of this. I like the overall saberish look.
2.1版本登场，怎么样？是不是和布兰特很搭啊？
看起来不错哦。先让我漂泊者用几天试试刀锋。
Rover would love to try it out. Just
哎
hand it
等
over.
等
Wow,
那你
Fusion
要问布
Rover.
兰特答不答应啊？这不灭航路是水手刀的样式，比一般的刀剑稍短，在它出鞘的时候，刀身会燃烧紫色的火焰，灼热且汹涌，和布兰特很是
When
相
you
配。
unsheath it,
仔
he
细
doesn't
看
have
的
it
话，
sheathed at
这把
all.
刀的刀柄上还挂着愚人剧团的飘带， 看来布兰特是真的很珍视愚人剧团啊。
Oh, it is.
对于布兰特来说，剧团就是家。哎，那算了，还是先让布兰特用用吧。聊了这么多，希望在新版本中，漂泊者们对这2位共鸣者能有更加深入的了解呢。追策划做了这么久，要不要周边逛一逛呢？
好呀，我也想走动走动了。
那么现在出发吧，一起逛逛黎乔利群岛。接下来请收看黎乔利群岛
Riccioli.
莉莉
Sounds
伯
like
莱
yeah, Riccioli sounds like some sort of pasta. This is like this area reminds me of some of like the areas in Sea of Thieves, some of the little like islands that you can end up on there, and I love that. I like Sea of Thieves. That's a game that I might try to get Freya and I to play together. She might enjoy Sea of Thieves. Now that I got her like a gaming laptop and stuff, I'll have to remember to message her that and be like, "Hey, want to be a pirate?" You see little bubbles down there in the water. Like, are those going to be areas where you can fish then, I guess? Or building Noah's Ark out of the Pilgrim ship, it looks like. I don't know why it's just there. Okay, some ruins. You see the War Sentinel on the top of the ruins there. It's really pretty, the nice like reefs there and everything. Hold up. Those are echoes. Are these just the dancers again, or is that one slightly different? I'm not sure. I think they're just the dancers. This is very pretty and is giving me I'm just gonna say it's giving me Watatsumi Island vibes from Genshin a little bit. Yeah, the jellyfish, the general like coral reef aesthetic. It's a little bit of Watatsumi Island vibes, but that's nice. I love it still. Okay, there's a gigantic storm in the middle, but the lighthouse is really pretty, and so is the moon. This area is really pretty. I'm not sure how large it is, though, for what
哇
we're seeing. ，
好漂亮的景色啊，仿佛在梦境中一般。
转人工，转人工。哎，其实离乔利群岛上的生活还是很惬意的，
Quite laid
出
back
海
and
捕
be
捕
nice.
鱼，岸边晒晒太阳。等和岛上的住民们学会了捕鱼技能，离成为捕鱼达人就不远啦。哎，等等，我是不是又看到了那个什么不明生物？
和我们刚才望远镜中看到的画面一样，最近在黎乔利群岛周围出现了那个身影。
那个说的是，难道是素海之鲸？
菲比好像前阵子就一直在到处找他。
Phoebe
看他的
is
样子
actually
是
Captain
不是
Ahab.
发生了什么紧急的事情？
我确实也听说，在之前的狂欢节危机结束之后，素海之鲸的情况其实一直都不太好呢。但作为深海的好朋友，菲比一定也正在想办法解决呢。
但好像菲比此行并不太顺利。
嗯，是的，有部分生活在离乔利群岛的人们似乎并不欢迎修会的教士。
Yeah, I'm
幸
sure
好
they're
有漂
not.
泊者一起，有桂冠的相助，让菲比行动方便了不少呢。
那就好。所以海岛上发生了什么吗？
确实发生了一
It's
些
gonna
奇
be
怪
like
的
her
事情
story
比如
quest
说
then?
3座不知为何熄灭的灯塔，一位冲着鱼叫着宝贝儿的大叔，还有一
Fish
个
babe，
唱歌会魅惑人心的大鱼。
听起来好像都有点奇怪呢。看来这次的问题又需要漂泊者出马了。
Bro's fish was like, "Would you still love me if I were a fish?" Like, dang, bro. Bro's girlfriend became fish.
相信和眼前这片蔚蓝的大海一定有脱不了的干系。
期待漂泊者们与菲比等人同行，开启2.1版本活动，老人与海，一起踏上航海之旅。
Hold up.
Hold-
Old Man in the Whale, not like Old Man in the Sea. Is that an Ernest
开启2.1
Hemingway?
版本活动。
Old Man in the Whale. That's an Ernest Hemingway reference. It's Old Man in the Sea. That's cool. Is that a Lorelei skin for the Lorelei Echo? Which is also interesting because that is not an echo that Phoebe will use. Phoebe's going to end up using the nightmare morning eye. So yeah, I don't think that's I mean it's cool. It gets blonde hair. That's cool. But Phoebe ain't using her. So Phantom Lorelei, maybe? Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. It's a skin for Lorelei. It's the Phantom Lorelei skin, which is cool. I think that'll be pretty cool. Blonde and black there. Uh, Again, kind of sad that Phoebe just isn't going to use that because she's Spectro, and I think this is for the Havoc set.
活动，老人与海一起踏上航海之旅。
好有意思的活动名啊！那么在出海的过程中，我们是不是还有些其他的玩法呢？我们能乘着贡多拉出海了吗？
那当然，出海当然少不了捕鱼啦。在2.1版本活动中
Fishing, okay.
漂泊者可以乘坐拉杰号，一艘在捕鱼界征战多年的贡多拉，前往各处捕鱼点捕鱼。在捕到鱼后，根据货舱的容量和形状，漂泊者可以自由组合搭配，将各种鱼类放入货舱中带回，就像这个样子哦。当捕鱼大丰收的时候，货舱可能不够存放，这就需要各位捕鱼达人提升捕鱼的能力啦。卖鱼可以获取到渔业币，渔业币可以在码头商店购买相应的材料，提升拉杰号的捕捞能力。
Okay. Enhancing Rover's fishing abilities and techniques. Okay, the fishing is going to be cool. Question: how time gated is it going to be? Because if this is going to be like super time gated, like say Genshin's fishing was, or even Infinity Nikki's fishing can be, and I love Infinity Nikki's fishing. I like the idea of if I just want to sit down and fish, to just go and fish. Like, I want, again, like, some Sea of Thieves, some Zelda or something. I guess Sea of Thieves probably more. Where I can just throw that rod in there and go whoop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo and fish. Gondola fishing was not it for me. Or Genshin's fishing, rather. Wow, I'm blind. Genshin's fishing was not... No, Genshin's fishing I thought was horrendous. Besides having Paimon yelling in your ears... no, I thought it was just really annoying and tedious, more so than anything else. And again, I love fishing in video games. I've loved Zelda's fishing. Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, in my opinion, have some of the best fishing in all of video games. I loved Warframe spear fishing. Was something that I thought was really fun. I remember doing that for hours with people, just going spear fishing with just randos. We'd just sit there and talk and go spear fishing. It was really fun. I'm trying to think on what else there was. I enjoy Infinity Nikki's fishing. It's just that it takes a while because again the time gate. And that's what gets me. And I enjoy also Sea of Thieves fishing. It took me a while to figure out how to do it though. But I enjoy Sea of Thieves fishing and everything as well. Like, what about Animal Crossing fishing? It's on the low end. Animal Crossing fishing gives me anxiety. I like Stardew Valley fishing. Stardew Valley's fishing was fun. But again, one of the things that makes this so enjoyable, I feel, fishing is that it's just this relaxing thing that you could just repeatedly do. When you put time gates to it, all of a sudden the relaxation becomes stress-inducing because you start to run out of things or you feel an obligation of, oh, I just didn't do this timely thing. I messed up my timer. So I don't want it to be time gated. And I get the reason why they might time gate stuff because, hey, there's things attached to it. There's rewards attached to it. We don't want them all done at once. We don't want all the content completely done in one day, even though people will always try to rush content. Like, I understand the rationale behind it. I just don't agree with it. I just think let people relaxingly fish.
可以通过提高漂泊者菲比的捕鱼能力和技巧，获取不同的加成效果。另外， 漂泊者还可以选择在不同的海域或者不同的时间段出海，会遇到更丰富的鱼种哦。漂泊者们可要准备好收集林纳西塔的鱼类图鉴喽。
好耶，是紧张刺激的出海捕鱼活动。那这次的活动有没有什么特殊的奖励可以和漂泊者们提前预告一下的？
当然有啦，完成本次活动将获得新生、养成道具等各种
Oh
丰富
yeah,
的
this
活
is
动奖励，
definitely gonna
还可以
be
兑换全新
something.
意象深海奖
Yep,
励
Phantom
意象和
Warline
雷来，以及活动武器应敢移大海的馈赠。
Oh, that's
当然
pretty.
还有协正等级提升道具和同款武器投影。
太好了，是我的意向
Wait,
老
does
婆，
what
我
now?
必须拿。
Sorry, I didn't read that fast enough. Synchronization of what?
活动武器应敢移大海的馈赠。当然还有
Not to mention, there are also items that increase synchronization, rank, and weapon protection, and a weapon protection. So we do get a skin. Synchronization rank. Is that just like your? The hell is that? I guess for I guess for refining.
协正等级提升道具和同款武器投影。
太好了，是我的意向老婆，我必须拿下。
Wow, did
人
he
类
just
的
say
叉
that?
屁果然是自由的。
Yeah,
相
humans
信
have
各位漂泊
interesting
者一
taste
定能
indeed.
在这次的航海捕鱼之旅中各有收获。
除了离桥利群岛，我们之前还提到了，在这次版本中，漂泊者可以探索另一个区域——艾弗拉德金库的地下空间。
Okay, the
我们
underground
一起去看
spaces.
看
Here we
吧
go.
我
Let's
觉
see
得
if this is
那
a
里
new
一定有不
domain
少
or
罕
what.
见的东西。
OK， 走吧。
What if they made this like a roguelike kind of a zone? I mean, it's pretty. A little empty looking. But yeah, it would be fun. Roguelikes are cool. Like if they made it like every time you go down there, it changes and shifts, and that's just part of the vault's defense mechanism. A shift. There's your trains right there to the right. I mean, this does look big, but how much of it is the backdrop? Because it looks very... It just looks like things are separated. Is that a train system leaving the normal vault to go to this special vault, or?
金库下层竟然还藏着这么大的空间，而且也太奢华了吧！我可以成为场馆的职员吗？
嘿，邓策划，你这是想赚莫塔里家的钱是吧？话说回来，金库下层包含深海藏馆、贵金属与艺术品藏馆，甚至还有更多秘密的藏馆，以及穿梭在各个区域之间的深海列车。漂泊者们这次可以深度探索了。
偷偷进入。
This
像我
dude
们开始
really
提到
wants
的
to break
需要各
in.
位漂泊者协助金库行动，是有关一份来自银海修会和克雷塔小姐的双重委托。
A
最近
joint
银海修会
operation between the Order and Carlotta is an interesting one. Terms between the Montelli family and the Order of the Deep, both Carlotta and the Order have simultaneously extended invitations requesting your presence to witness their supposed amicable relations. You're tasked with venturing into the heart of the Montelli wealth. Okay. Huh. I mean, we do know that Carlotta was trying to are we gonna get the final freaking thing? That's a rover constellation. Or a resonance chain or whatever. We do know that Carlotta was trying to broker some sort of communication with the Thessalias. So is this where that's going?
破天荒的想运送一份藏品到埃弗拉德金库，这可是在金库第一次出现修会的藏品呢。双方都非常重视，而漂泊者则成了丹子大人的最佳人选。
那这么重要的任务，不是让我一个人解决吧？
那当然，如此特殊的任务，委托双方都各派出了一位代表。莫塔里家族的代表赞尼，
That's
以
Zani
及银海修会的代表
and
菲比。
Phoebe.
漂泊者将和他们同行，展开本次的金库行动。
不过这次的
So
行
this
动
is
好像
essentially
并
the
不像
story
想
stuff
象中
then.
那么顺利。
又不顺利。
哈哈，
哦，还有个可以透露的是， 当一切行动都完成，保护金库的巨大双翼也会缓缓展开哦，超帅的哦！
又期待上了，很想去试试刚才看到的深海列车啊！
深海列车是串联金库区域之间的重要交通工具。
Echo
漂
train's
泊者
looking a
在
little
探索的
slow.
过程中，可以乘坐它前往指定舱馆，在陡峭的轨道上滑行疾驰，还可以使用获取到的特殊权限组件更换轨道。
Yep,
像
figured there's
坐
gonna
过
be
山车一样
minecart
哦
gameplay. I
你
called
刚刚
it.
说的这个特殊权限组件，应该还有其他的用途。
漂泊者们进入金库时，如果被监控扫视到，就会触发安全警报。但是我们可以利用权限组件骇入金库内的监控设备，解除警报。
That's
并
not how
下一步行动。
clearance works. Yeah, with
哇哦
clearance you
有种当
hack.
特工的感
No,
觉
if you're
啊
clearance, you
不
just
仅
go
如此
in.
权限组件还可以化敌为友，把深海化为己用。你看，他正在协助我们去攻击另一个深海了。
有了这番介绍，这次的行动想必大家已经志在必得了吧？
哦，对了，说了这么多，是时候为大家送上本次前瞻通讯的第2个兑换码了，记得及时兑
Preview
换领取哦。
broadcast, Oh. Okay. I'm still not totally sold on minecart puzzles are real. I told you. I'm not totally sold on the area beneath the vault yet, but we'll see.
神秘莫测的地下金库，一望无际的茫茫海洋，我的冒险之魂已经开始燃烧了。那我们现在就开始。
嘿，邓策划，你先别着急，关于2.1版本，我们还有其他内容没有和大家介绍哦。
Okay.
哦，对，来吧。
首先当然是大家最关心的角色换血活动啦。
Resident Air Convene. Okay, who we getting for
换取
reruns?
活动于静谧呢喃将率先开启，
Us
漂泊
wi-
者们可以从中换取全新限定。
Oh my. Freya is going to be so livid that Lumi is on Phoebe's banner and not Brandt. Oh my god, Freya is going to be absolutely livid about that. She wants Brandt, but she wants Lumi more than anything. And it's on Phoebe's. She doesn't like Phoebe. Plus, she just got Jinxie. Freya got Jinxie like a couple of weeks ago, and she still wants Lumi. But outside of, oh god, this is also going to be a horrible banner if I decide to try to pull for Phoebe. Again, we need more 4 stars because these two are maxed. I would only be trying to pull to get, if I were going for 4 stars, the only viable 4 star for me is Lumi because I don't have Lumi. Like, we really need new 4 stars.
共鸣者菲比，在于静谧呢喃活动结束后，全新限定5星共鸣者布兰特的换取活动燃焰于海和限定5星共鸣者长离。
What was that? No.
在于静谧呢喃活动结束后，全新限定5星共鸣者布兰特的换取活动燃焰于海。
I like how Brandt only shows up for like 10 seconds. And it's like, okay, Brandt, bye. Let's go to the next one. Like, dang, man. Like, give the man some attention. Yoo-hoo. Now, here's the thing. Yoo-hoo, if you have Zezha, is really good because Yoo-hoo's outro skill buffs coordinated attack damage by 100%. Heck, she's even good with Mortifi. So she's not bad. You can actually run a mono Glacio team with Carlotta, Yoo-hoo, Zezha, and just the rotation will just be Yoo-hoo into Zezha into Carlotta. And you'll buff coordinated attacks for Zezha's burst, buff skills for Carlotta, and then Yoo-hoo acts as a healer who can basically run the same kind of healing set with fallacy and whatnot like Verena would. So this is possible. Mortifi is, cool. I think I have him maxed, or if not maxed, I think he's like 1 away from being maxed on Resonance Chain. Nobody wants Tauchi. Tauchi, you're cool kind of, but not really. You have a cool idea with counters, but they never work. So no, Tauchi, you don't, and you hit like a wet noodle. Like, no.
和限定5星共鸣者长离的换取活动，赤羽色阵星将同步开启。
Chun-Li
以及
is also
2.1 版
Brandt
本浮生成兵武器换取活动中，首先将开放5星音感仪和光回畅的换取活动，在和光回畅活动结束后，开放5星训刀不灭航路的换取活动，以及5星训刀刻意留名的换取活动。除了
Nothing
新的换取
too-
活动，在2.1 版
I like how
本中
both the
来自
flaming
丽娜西塔
swords
的
end up
5种
being
新生孩
together.
也将与漂泊者们见面。他们分别是重塑雕像的权利、巨力熊、气动
Okay.
棱镜、于金右眼。
Hold up. Hey, Andy, wood. What do you what wood? You wood this? Okay. That's an interesting choice.
的换取活动在2.1，他们分别是重塑雕像的
Rage against the statue. This is a 3 cost. Is that Spectro set? Stone TD that embodies deconstruction and echo skill. Transform and rage against statue to deal Spectro damage to enemies. Hold the echo skill to charge toward the enemies dealing Spectro. Okay, so this is basically just like rinascita's version of the other one. Not really original, but
权
sure.
利、巨力熊。
That is basically new bear. You have bear, transform into bear, dealing arrow damage. I'm pretty sure the other one just does physical. So this is arrow, and this is an arrow set. Huh, is it going to be a new arrow set, or is it going to be the old arrow set? Either way, once again, nothing new, not really original.
气动棱镜、
The arrow prism, actually, we probably know what it was. Golden Junrock. Okay, we know what these are. Geospectral enemies. Yeah, this isn't anything really new. Calcified Junrock. Yeah, a lot of these are just kind of the same old general enemies with reskins, basically, and maybe a couple new attacks. Feels a little uninspired, but okay.
黎娜西塔的深海都有很多神奇的能力，这次的新深海应该也会有一些有趣的效果吧。
当然，这一次登场的新生孩们也有着不一样的深海技
I don't
能，
know about
比如
unique
可以
skills,
利用
maybe.
蛮力冲撞击退敌人的巨力熊，可以使出蓄力攻击将敌人击飞的重塑雕像的权利，还有能化身龙卷风对敌群旋转输出的气动棱镜。
It's cool,
希望这些新生孩
Beyblades.
能为漂泊者们带来更多新奇有趣的战斗体验。
看我熊熊出击！聊完新深海，追策划再继续和大家介绍一下2.1版本的其他活动和玩法吧。
好的，2.1版本期间，布兰特的半星任务启航日船长也将上线。
Okay.
在本
Yep.
次半星任务中，漂泊者将化身愚人剧团的一日船长，和布兰特一同
One
出海
day captain,
放
okay.
枚神秘的硬币，号称飞毛腿的海盗，传奇冒险家遗留的珍宝，穿梭在群岛之间，和布兰特一起去寻找激动人心的故事和闪闪发光的宝藏吧。另外，从2.1版本开始，我们将
Get
开
pirate
启一个
story.
全新的周长玩法——签到门扉的意象。
Weekly combat.
似曾
Okay.
相识的门扉连通着名为心之极域的空间，每周完成挑战获得积分，可以
Weekly
领取
challenges,
新生
okay.
贝币等奖励。签到门扉的意象呢，是我们在之前的肉鸽玩法上做的一次玩法扩充和尝试。在这个玩法中，漂泊者可以选择3位共鸣者组队进行探索。同时，关于大家所熟悉的深坠异想奇境玩法，我
So
们当前也在进行着优化。
basically what I just saw there with that, and sorry, it's taking my brain. It's still technically like it's earlier than I woke up early, so my brain is not fully functional. Technically, what we're seeing with this, it looks just like an updated version of the Somme Noir, that thing that we have. That was like, oh, it's a permanent event, and then it's like, yeah, it's a permanent one-time event. Like, okay, I guess. This looks like this is just an update to that, essentially, to make it not a one-time thing. Now it's a weekly thing. That's fun. I think that's a good idea. Sure.
进行探索。同时，关于大家所熟悉的深
Depths of Elusive Realm. Okay, I'm
我们
curious
当
about
前也
this.
在进行着
Optimizing,
优化升级
upgrading it. Is it coming
很
out
快会和大家再见哦。
soon? Not
除此
now
之外
then.
呢，全新的常驻挑战玩法明哥海
Permanent
区
gameplay
也将在
challenge. I've heard about this on Twitter. I saw the name from the actual like official Kuro Twitter. Whimpering Wastes. This sounds like a name that people who make fun of Wuthering Waves would call Wuthering Waves. Yo, you over there playing Whimpering Wastes? Bro, why would you play that? Blah, blah, blah. End of service. Like, that's what this sounds like to me. So, questionable as all hell name. Lord of Dark Tide, swarms of tacit discords weave deadly web, luring every passing soul. Once again, it falls to you to cleanse the treacherous waters. Water combat?
2.1版本登场，在明歌海区中，漂泊者可以选择携带不同的信物，挑战3大海域的关卡与敌人，在此过程中累积积分，获得奖励。还有跑酷又回来了，极限拉古纳联机跑酷活动即将开启。
Okay, there's a sounds like something a school bully would say. Yeah, you're not wrong.
见哦。除此之外呢，全新的常驻挑战玩法明歌海区
It's permanent.
2.1版本登场，在明歌海区中。
Okay, but if it's permanent, does that mean it's a one and done thing like the Some Noir or what? Like
漂泊者可以选择携带不同的信物，挑战3大海。
this looks and reminds me vaguely like the Mirror Crown and Nikki. I can see here the dragon thing. Is this by Penitence End then that we're gonna be doing this? Because there's the dragon, like the tail looking thing that shows up around Penitence End, the rock formations. You can challenge enemies across 3 main sea
的关
areas.
卡与敌人，在此过程中累积积
Accumulate
分，获
points
得
as you
奖励。
go and
还有
earn
跑酷又
rewards. Overdash event is making a comeback, but this time it's co-op. What do they mean by challenging different sea areas? Is it going to be fighting on a boat? Is it going to be at sea? Because sea combat has not been explained if it's in here, and I don't think it is. So, is it really going to be at sea, or is it just going to be different enemies?
又回来了，极限拉古纳联机跑酷活动即将开启。这次大家可以与好友一同，或者匹配其他玩家联机比赛，灵活使用多种探索能力，穿梭于拉古纳美景之间，一起畅爽跑酷。
哇哦，一口气说这么多新活动，感觉差不多了吧？
哇，你先等我喘口气，我还有啊。漂泊者熟悉的7日签到活动也将
7 days
如约而
lock
至
event. Yeah, as always they say,
还
which
将
is
继续
nice.
携手
Low
先行攻略
logistics, nice.
为大家带来踏潮探力探索活动。
I'm fine
新
with
一期
that.
的海算魔眼和仿生战略
Combat
现实战斗
events,
活动也
infinite
将开
battle
启
simulation,
而在
tactical
新的
thing.
仿生战略活动中，
Oh,
漂泊者们可
Jesus
再度进入
Christ.
弗洛洛搭建的舞台，迎战优雅
That's gonna
与
be
强大并
hell
存
on
的赫卡
earth.
特彼岸元舞。在全息战略幻痛中，也将新增
Yep,
全
yep,
息
yep.
战略赫卡特挑
The
战。
tactical
漂泊者们
hologram that's
巧
gonna
妙
be
运用
hell on
特殊
earth.
机制，将其击败吧。
好，介绍完活动和玩法，优化方面咱们也没有落下吧？
好的。首先就来说说2.1版本将会新增深海预
Okay.
示装配和推荐功能。
Echo
漂
recommend
泊者
Echo
可以将设
presets.
置的装配方案进行。
This I had heard would be coming, and it is about damn time I can finally have my DPS Zezha set and my coordinated attack Zezha set. We get freaking loadouts, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. We are finally able to do it. Now, is this for each character that they have, each of these, or is it just in general? And can we name them so that way I can keep track of these sets?
保存，后续还可以再次使用此方案。深海推荐的筛选功能也进一步优化了。漂泊者可以根据深海的主因属性和辅因属性进行快速筛选，
Okay.
找到最匹配的深海。此外，还有一键装配功能。通过这些新功能，漂泊者可以更加轻松便利的装配深海。
哦，真有
That's
这么方便
amazing
吗
quality of
演
life.
示一下怎么操作呗。
就以菲比装配深海为例子吧，在深海装配界面点击深海推荐，就可以快速查看适合的深海种类啦。再点击一键装配，系统就会按照活跃玩家数据，从已有的深海中自动装配较为合适的推荐组合。另外呢，在里纳西塔更新后，大量深海内容更新导致的仓库紧张问题，我们也
Echo
收到了。
storage
在
issue.
2.1版本立马为大家将深海仓库扩展到了3000。
Okay.
确实有遇到过这样的问题。 解决了就
I have
OK。
never run into that
当然，
issue.
本次更
These
新
people
后，
are
相机
insane.
功能
I
也
know
将迎
people
来
have
优化
though.
这次将新增部分角色休闲动作。进入拍摄界面后，漂泊者就可以选择喜爱的角色待机动作进行拍照啦。以后还会加入其他动作哦。此外，相机
That's
功能还新
cool.
增了滤镜
Oh
和
my
滤镜程度
god.
调
They're taking inspiration from Nikki. They're taking inspiration from Nikki. My god, that is great that they're adding that. That is some Nikki inspiration right there.
调节功能。同时，相机位置的平移功能也将开放，
Yes,
更加方便
nice.
漂泊者们进行摄影构图。比如，
Do we have
我们想
camera
要记录
rotation?
藏匿在千里庭院的大树下观景的画面，可以尝试使用明艳滤镜，将强度调到30左右，让色彩更暖一些。选取一个合适的休闲动作，再略微平移镜头，调整下构图，一张由你创作的特别影像就完成啦。希望本次更新能让漂泊者的明朝摄影体验更进一步。
That's really nice. That is going to be
那
so
我作为
good.
索拉里斯最强摄影师，可要在里纳西塔发挥我的最强
Now we
实
just
力
need
了
a bit of camera
我也是在
rotation
想
here, and we'll
哪
really
天
be
能不能
Nikki.
在潮汐地理特刊上看到东策划的作品。不过说到摄影这一块，明朝在 2.1 版本还将时装一个与此相关的全新功能。东策划不妨猜猜看是什么？
难道是
Like a
那个可
photography
以让
event?
游戏画面变得更好？我期待了很久的那个。
全
Graphics
局光
improve-
线追踪。
Full ray tracing? Jeez. I need to like update my computer before I can do this because I'm still running a 2080. Okay. But this is nice. Like it is nice. Jeez. It makes it like warmer colors, which is very interesting. Oh, wow, reflections. That's cool. Okay. Huh. Yeah, a lot of it is just like, it looks like warmer colors. But yeah, it's better shading all in all. It's like softer shading. I don't know, it's really nice. You're apologizing to your graphics card in advance. I don't think my graphics card can handle this if I do it. Because, truth be told, I'm still running a 2080. Like, it's RTX 2080 and all that, but it's still a 2080 and I stream with it.
2.1 版本正式上线，全局
I need
光
to
线
make
追
I
踪
need to build a new
希望
computer
能给
this
漂泊者
summer.
们带来更好的画面效果和游戏体验。目前光线追踪功能暂时只支持 PC 端的部分显卡。不过
Yeah,
我们也在
only
紧
on
锣
certain
密鼓地优
graphics
化
cards. Yeah, I
与更
bet.
多硬件、软件厂商和设备合作，希望把这项功能带给更多设备和平台上的漂泊者。请大
God,
家
could you
保持
imagine
期
that
待
on a phone?
除了光线追踪功能之外，
You're on a 3070, it does you wonders. Yeah. Again, I built my computer 6-7 years ago. I built it in 2018, towards the end of 2018. And at the time, the 2080 was the best thing. That was the best of the line at the time. It's not anymore. And I need to build a new one probably this year. I actually, as of like only a few months ago, I had already picked out a lot of the parts and stuff that I was probably going to go for. But I'm going to probably wait till the summer. One, just to see if things get cheaper. And two, like especially ever since like Nvidia stock crashing, like maybe the graphics cards will start being cheaper. And two, also just to see if there's anything new that comes out. Because the biggest bottlenecks for me, incidentally, are the GPU and the CPU, which is what a shock, but especially the CPU for me, actually even more than my graphics card. The CPU is my biggest bottleneck. I need the CPU upgrade. New streaming setup soon. 5-ish months, maybe. Like, I would say, like, 4 months probably. Probably within, like, 4 or 5 months. Then, yeah, I'll probably have... The thing is, like, to do that, I'm also probably gonna have to buy new monitors because the new graphics cards, the bigger ones, they don't have as many HDMI slots as they do DP slots. And the only monitor that I'm using out of my 3 monitors that has a DP slot natively is my main one, my one. The rest of them are using HDMI and even some other weird stuff I got going on. Like, so yeah, it's a little jank. Say your CPU is still a 9th gen i5. Honestly, I think mine's about the same actually. No, but it's not great. The graphics cards are definitely going to get cheaper with the 50 series release. Yeah. And again, I don't need the best of the best of the best, so I'll probably get it for holding off for another 6 years. And again, like, it's probably going to cost me $2,500 maybe. 2,600 because I'm going to have to replace monitors. If I didn't have to replace monitors, probably like 2,200. But yeah, I've got to replace the monitors. And honestly, one of the reasons why I've held off on buying new stuff is I feel like I need a larger desk and I feel like I need a larger apartment. But we'll see where that goes come later on. You're including the peripherals, right? Yeah, the peripherals that I would need. Again, the monitors, and really that's really the only peripherals I need. My mouse works. I might get new headphones. These headphones are they I need to see. Here's the thing. I also need a new case, like, because the case that I have isn't good. What's likely is going to happen is my current computer. I'll probably just reformat the hard drive on my current one, delete everything off of it, and like give it to Freya or something. Even though she has a laptop that I bought her, or maybe I'll just save this computer and use it for something else. Like I'll probably keep like this computer that I'm using now. I just don't know what I'll use it for. Maybe it can be like just an editing machine or something. I don't know. I'll have to think on what I do it. Case isn't really important if you have a good enough cooling system going on in enough holes. I might, but I also don't want to necessarily get rid of this computer and tear everything out of it. Like, the only thing that I would probably need to remove out of it is my capture card for my Switch. That I'd probably want to remove, or just buy a new capture card. Because there's probably better capture cards than the ones that are 6 years old. So that's the other thing that I would probably consider as well. Again, I might just get all new stuff and then just hold on to this computer to have as like backup and everything. But I'll figure it out when I get there. I'm not too concerned.
还有一个好消息要告诉大家，我们在公测时正式公布的 Mac 版明朝终于确认上
Mac
线时间了。
versions.
明朝将在3月正式上线 Mac 版本。届时
Well,
Mac 端
happy
漂泊者
Apple
们也可以
noises,
在
I
索拉
guess.
里斯大陆畅游啦。分享了这么多游戏内容，接下来我也要和漂泊者们分享一下明朝的全新系列周边情报了
A。new series of merchandise. Okay, Merc, anything that I'd be interested in?
首先当然是大家都很喜欢的二小姐科莱塔主题的罗曼蒂克套装。
Carlotta theme romantic set. Bloody what? Cat's eye brooch. Interestingly enough, like, cat's eyes are like used in like marriage proposals. Reflective colored paper. Opal's secret message. It's Carlotta's. It's cute. Tin badge. That's cute. Okay, it's cute. I'm not gonna get that, but it's cute. I will admit it is absolutely cute. Like, yeah.
是的，真的很精美。让我们来看看套装里面都有哪些东西吧。游戏内出现过的猫眼石胸针，
The
科
brooch
莱
is
塔的
cool.
寄语，亚克力色纸。哇哦，这么多，必须拿下欧伯赠予的贺礼。
哇，罗曼蒂克，哎，这个我要了。
除了2小姐之外，我们还将推出一款大家很喜欢的，请看，噔噔噔噔，浴缸全摆件。
Tub pup
我感觉他马
ornament?
上就要在这里跳起舞来了。
Wait a minute.
浴缸里的空间似乎可以用来储物。
是哦，看，漂泊
That's
咱们还可以
cute.
真的坐进去哦。
好好好，这个好，
Tub
我也要拿
pup?
下。
Yeah, that is
最
cute.
后还有
Now,
非常
let's
美
be
丽
real.
的
If I went to like Home Depot or Lowe's or somewhere and it was like, here's an actual tub pup, like an actual bathtub, it's a tub pup. Yeah. For when I get a house.
手办。首先，长梨来喽。这个上下回眸的动态，我只能说
Changli, it's not painted yet, it looks like.
很有感觉，想立马就赴长梨之约了。
哇，天哪，这就是心动的感觉吗？还有吗？还有吗？一定还
I'm
有。
not really interested
别
in
吵了，快
Changli,
打
so I
了
don't care.
有，别急嘛。
Still in the works,
春的
yeah.
手办我们也在筹备当中了。
That's much
等
more
待同伴
interesting to
与春花
me.
之间是
I like
春的
Camellia.
经典造型呢
Such a classic
我
pose
感
is
觉我的
crazy.
工资被回收了。
哈哈哈，那我建议你还是给自己留一点，因为未来我们还有更多精美周边，大家可以关注。
I won't know exactly what this
获取
dude
一手
said.
情报哦。好，那么以上就是本次明朝2.1版本前瞻通讯的全部内容啦。
No, it doesn't.
我真的很迫不及待
10 minutes，
想要
left
赶紧去金库和海岛爽玩一番了。
哎，我也是啊，很期待这些新玩法的正式上线，希望漂泊者们到时候能玩得开心。
希望漂泊者们开心。对了，可别忘了最重要的事情，为大家送上最后一个兑换码。
Last redemption
大家记得
code.
及时
I
兑
already
换领
got
取
them
哦。
last night. Again, they're on Twitter. Mm.
好，那么
明朝2.1版本《飞鸟清明，浪涛欢唱》将于2月13日正式上线。
让我们一同出航，探索发现黎纳西塔的更多秘密与魅力吧。
哎，东策划，终端好像有反应了，
哦，你快看看，
让我看看。
太好了
It's
终于有人来
Pikachu
接我
Oh,
们
no,
了。
it's-
终端，听得到吗？收到请回复，收到请回复。
You ever just get absorbed by your gourd? Gourd absorb. What? 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 I'm so confused. Rhythm game? Yeah, what? I'm gonna suck at this so hard. What are you watching? I don't know. Tub Pup is getting rocked by this turtle, though. Tub Pup is me, and the turtle is Freya in, like, rhythm games, because I know good and damn well she would win every time. This is my forte, please. Your forte as an actual resonator is just rhythm games. Poor Tub Pup. Bro, what was that? Work in progress does not represent final look of the game. Well, that was a weird one.
Reality beckons. Have you glimpsed the truth in this dream? But the third? I wait to see how you will rewrite it. The symphony between us has only just begun its overture.
I suspect that the fish we saw earlier is connected to this siren.
We'll
Okay.
give this performance the perfect finale!
Excellent. Together we dive into the sea of ghosts.
That is
Keeping
some...
you safe is part of my job.
I'm sorry.
That was Phoebe again.
Mighty God Killer.
Okay. Wait, there's still more. There's a lot to unpack with that. Why did it suddenly become serious? Look, man, we can't have fun rhythm games forever. Let's break this down. Once I get to it, okay, we get silly rhythm game. We're fighting the Italian elf? Well, a version of her. What if she has two halves? What was that rover attack? New rover? Oh, 100% gonna be new rover. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get glacial rover because you have to think, right? The whale is glacial. So I'm pretty sure we get glacial rover. So let's look at this, right? Eventually. Today. Okay, so we got All Silent Souls Can Sing. This is going to be the new area, the new thing that we get, this update right here. That which... God, I hate how this does that. YouTube, have you... I am going to scream. Boom. What is going on? Is that Cardathea? At first, I thought it was, again, Phoebe, because they look so freaking similar, but that's Cardathea that we see there. So this is a teaser up till the end of rinascita's story. Yeah, and rinascita's story seems to be split across 4 updates. So I'm curious as to what we're getting out of this current one, 2.1, that's coming up, because 2.1 does not seem super, super relevant. I thought this was Phoebe at first. This is Cardathea. Is this representing, like, some sort of how she died or whatever, how she was martyred? That's definitely, there's no doubt this is Cardathea. We get to see the crown that she had right there. This is very different. She has the same kind of shoes, no pants. Not really sure what's going on with this. Is this just part of like a cloak thing that's like bent, I think? Yeah, this is Cardathea. And again, this looks like some sort of replay of her being martyred or killed. And then I think she becomes Big Cardathea that we attack. So is this like what Frolova said at the end of the last update when she's like, yo, a resonator who can resonate with both the Threnodian and with the Sentinel? And this leads me to believe something. Okay, if this is true, if somebody can indeed resonate with a Threnodian, remember Geshu Lin from Jinzhou? The dude who everyone was like, oh my god, he's so hot. When is he playable? What if Geshu Lin ends up becoming like a not a Sentinel, a Threnodian resonator? We would think if that were the case, he would have been the resonator of the Overthrax. But Overthrax was kind of defeated. Not really, though. I think it just retreated. We absorbed Dreamless with Abby, but then the Overthrax, I think, fled. So if this is a thing, and we indeed can have resonators with Threnodians, then I think there's good odds that Geshu Lin comes back at one point later on. Probably when we go to the mainland capital of like Huanglong. Because we only visited Jinzhou, and Jinzhou was just sort of a border zone of Huanglong. So later on, we'll get to the capital, I'm assuming, and whatever that capital is. And then I bet you we'll get Overthrax perhaps again with Geshu Lin. But that's probably going to be like way, way, way into future, not any time in the 2.x updates here. And we also have to think, right? If the 2.x updates are extending all the way to what is essentially going to be 2.4, 2.5, that would take us pretty close to the 6-month mark, where then we'd be moving into the 3.x updates. So the story, they're doing something good with Wuwa, where the story is moving along well. Like this isn't giving us half a year or more, 8 months of freaking filler. I do think 2.1 is going to be more relaxed out of the ones that we're seeing. Sorry, my throat's just gonna die. But they're moving at a brisk pace, which also makes me somewhat concerned because in an interview with Solon, um, he said that he wanted in 5 to 10 years Wuwa to be remembered as like to be remembered in like a positive light about something really specific, about like action games and stuff and like open world games. And that concerns me because that makes me think like, is the story of Wuwa gonna be done in 5 years? Like, because they are moving fast. Geshu Lin in 3.0 real, maybe. Don't think Geshu Lin dies. They only ever mentioned that he overclocked, and looking at Camellia, yeah, it's possible. Well, did they mention that he overclocked? They mentioned that he went in there and was never seen again. And maybe what we're witnessing here is an overclocking on the screen with Cardathea. Maybe that's what happened to her. She overclocked, or what's going to happen to her. She overclocks, and then eventually we get evil Cardathea. 2.4 seems to be the climax of rinascita's story. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Like, if we do get a 2.5, which I don't necessarily think we will, but if we do, because thinking about the timing of it, if we do get a 2.5, that'll probably be like the filler. And that's fine. That's one update of filler. Cool, whatever. It'll be like 1.2, which if they do events that are story-based, that'd be very nice. The overclocking is a theory, you're pretty sure, leading to his disappearance. I thought he just fought the Overthrax. Like it said in the story that he confronted the Overthrax and then disappeared. My guess is, if he did, maybe he overclocked, maybe he didn't. My guess is he just lost, obviously, but might also have lost because he is the Overthrax's chosen resonator. And ends up just being there, and now is just kind of waiting for the full revival of Overthrax to come back and make his stand and lead once it fully revives, lead it against all of Huanglong. So that's how I think that's gonna end up playing out. But that's again neither here nor there. So we get to see this, which might be an overclocking of Cardathea. That's happening. And again, is this going to be this update? They really love moving this way too fast, and I can't just YouTube. You know what? You want to play this? I got you, Chief. I got you, Chief. Yeah. What now? Okay, not that far back. Not that. No. Get ready for fun audio. Okay. Inverted Tower. Tangled Truth and Inverted Tower. So the third update is, 2.2 is where we're actually getting into the towers now. We're again Tangled Truth. So are we saying that then, is this the entanglement of the Threnodian and Sentinel, how they are entangled and co-joined essentially? We get this. What is this up here? Is this, I'm muting this temporarily. Is this where we swing on? Yeah, that's evil Cardathea right there. You can see the legs. So that's evil Cardathea right there. So that's Sentinel version of Cardathea. But of course, keep in mind, this Sentinel, right? Imperator or whatever, has two forms that seemingly have split. And one may or may not actually just be the Threnodian. So perhaps Cardathea has two forms as well. And then Summer Reunion. Summer reunion, is this gonna be during the summer? If we're talking roughly 6 weeks for each one, yeah. And then what is going on here? We get this glow that's like Abby's glow. And lightly we toss the crown. This is the last one. So yeah, this goes to like 2.5 then. Okay, and now all of this is pretty normal. I'm waiting to 2.5 or 0.25 speed this. Again, I know it's muted. I can
Has
unmute it
only
here.
just begun its overture.
I suspect
Hold up. Up. I was about to say, don't you even. What is this? Stable version of what? Get this out of here. So we do, is this a vortex that we're 100% gonna sail in? I suspect that the fish we saw was connected to this siren. This seems to be the update that we're going into right here. This sailing, right? We're gonna sail somewhere. This looks like a pilgrimage ship, though. We get to see the horse head there, the same kind of sails. But the pilgrimage is theoretically stopped, so I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe it's just the ships that we have. And we're talking about the siren. The siren we know is in this update, though 2.1 update. So this is 2.1 update stuff right here. Again, I'm gonna mute this. Can we keep it slow here? We end up, yeah, because here we are with Brandt in this area, in this zone. There's Phoebe. Phoebe's gonna be with us. And no. Well, there's Phoebe doing some Phoebe things too. 42. Let me see if I can get this to like 40. We have like this is so hard to do because we have like a frame and then it disappears. This whatever's going on over there, something in the sky here. Again, the fate of this is like the Sonorosphere that I mentioned in my video on Rinascita. In that video, I mentioned how in the Sonorosphere we get to see the general fate of all of the pilgrim ships. And this is very much like that again. We're seeing this here. This seems like it's its own isolated underwater domain. Is this something that's going to end up in this 2.1 update? Because this feels like 2.1 business. That they just didn't mention because they wanted to keep it a surprise. Is there something moving? Though that's the whale moving back there. That was the whale we just saw moving back there. Yeah. There's Phoebe doing Phoebe things. Okay. More Phoebe things and then Brandt. Okay. We've got the fire happening right here with the... Now, what is this? Sea of Ghosts is being said. We're doing something. Again, I don't know which update this is going to be. Sea of Ghosts would make me think... We seem very sea-based with this particular update, so this might just be this update stuff. Trying to think, is there anyone around here who we'd recognize? Doesn't really look like. These are just NPCs. We get whomst ever that is that she doesn't have the ears or anything. So I'm not seeing Cardathea. She looks cool as God knows what though. Like look at, she's also got the little like marks there. So of course you would, Andy. Andy, I feel like everything you've said this entire stream has just been wood. Like, she seems cool. I'm curious as to what her entire design is, because this has a very, like, suit look to it. Like a suit top kind of a thing. Again, I don't see her ears or... I can't tell if this is, like, evil Cardathea. I don't think it is, because her hair doesn't set up that way, and we'd see the mark probably there. Okay, also hands. Whoa. We do see something here. She might not be evil. She might just be absolutely crazy. Oops, I went back too far. Hold up. No, we're not. Can we go back like this is 450? Can we go back 49? You think her name is Cantarella? She gives Miko vibes. You better not give Miko vibes. I freaking hate Miko. Cantarella. Cantarella, Camellia. Close enough. Okay, interesting design here with the almost scale-like. I was trying to, once again, being just a micro hair off. Trying to see, like, her full design. There's, like, some sort of, like, leggings there or whatever, and then I think this, like, bare skin or whatever. We don't really get to see her full design, unfortunately. I think this there's no way this is gonna be this update, though, right? Like, it would make sense to, but there was nothing to hint that. If this is going to be this update, then the trailer that they actually presented way back here for this update really didn't sell it well enough. Like, the trailer was just they wanted to really keep things under wraps and not give you anything until the very end. Because honestly, hither to this, and this is assuming this is in this update, again, big assumption. I just kind of thought 2.1 was going to be kind of fillerish. Like, there really wasn't going to be a whole lot happening here. But if we have this thing happening in here with the main story of 2.1, we might be on to something. You've said some other things like pineapple pizza. Wow, Andy. Wow. I'm upset. No, this could be much better for the update than I expected. So let's see where it keeps going. There's Zani. Uh-huh. But she's like walking off to go do something to apparently keep us safe. There's whoever she is with this instrument looking thing over here. Looks like Yinlin's lost sister. She has horns though. Related to Zani, maybe? Does Zani have ears like that? I don't think she does. No, Zani's got normal ears. These are elf ears. She's cool looking. This like green red looking thing. Very Yinlin like, even with this. Very Yinlin. Not actually Yinlin, but looks very Yinlin. Yeah, Andy, we know what you're gonna say. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. The feathers too is interesting. So you associated with birds. I don't think this is gonna be this update. This is Cardathea likely saying this, the I'm sorry. And then here again, do we actually get... Yeah, now we get... No, I swear to Christ, if this thing... You're not helping. My God. YouTube is Satan. There's a bloody light right in there. It's hard to see. Biblically accurate Threnodian. Dark Cardathea right here. Still nothing on her legs, which is like... Because notice, right, this Cardathea does not look like the other Cardathea, and I noticed this when I saw the other both the Cardatheas. She has paler hair. This is more like white hair. Cardathea that we know has yellow hair, blonde. This isn't it, and obviously her clothes are darker. This is dark version of her. I really don't think these are the same Cardatheas. Like, she says that she's sorry, but maybe this is like an overclocked version of her, or maybe she does resonate with both Sentinel and Threnodian, and there are times when the Threnodian just takes over and has control of her. In which case then she becomes Dark Cardathea. Yeah, see, but these are even different eyes too. Like, hold on, where was this? Like, everything is different. This is like Cardathia's mother. Like, I don't see this as, like, the Cardathia we know. She has you can see the laurel around her head, but it's not as attached, I guess. Um, and yeah, the tacit mark is in the same spot, but this just doesn't feel like her. This is like dark evil, or just like her big sister mother. Like, I honestly, I don't think these are the same people unless there is some sort of possession or something happening. Because they just don't, everything, they look the same on a surface level to me, but nothing else. And then, yeah, we're 100% going Glacio here. We can see with just the color scheme, going crazy, which is a whole nother thing. We're embracing Glacio, which means, are we perhaps also then, like, resonating with Cetus at that point? Like, is that showing that, then again, Cetus is part of the Resonator? Or no, the, whatchamabob? Okay, there's that clash. Part of the, Sentinel, rather. And this has the gold and so we saw the gold in one eye and the whitish bluish color in the other. So again, is this like a mix of normal Rover power with Glacial power, or is it a mix of Abby and Rover? Welcome back. Like, what kind of mix do we have here? Huh. Well, we still have. Wait, do we still have other things? Okay, yeah, there's actually nothing for like the next 5 minutes. It's just this. Hmm. Yeah, what to say, right? Like, I feel like the most interesting parts of this were at the very end. Because again, what we were shown in the once I find the bloody thing. Also, again, let's look at Cardathia. Yeah, the eyes are not as deep blue here. This is definitely, yeah, it's definitely Cardathia, like, exploding there. And then, I don't think the woman we saw over here, I don't think that's Cardathia. I don't think that's, like, unless she's projecting a much earlier childlike version, I don't think that's her unless she's being controlled and possessed by the Threnodian, or it's like her mother or something. But I don't think it's normal Cardathia. This is not Cardathia in Cardathia's right mind. This is like her being possessed or controlled by the Threnodian, because she is likely also the Threnodian's resonator. She's both. Because the Threnodian and the Sentinel are two sides of the same coin. Does the child also have a tacit mark with 3 nodes or 5? It's 5, I believe. I think this is from when I saw her last. You can kind of see it here. The 1, the 2, the center right there, which if it's 1, 2, center, then that would be another 1, 2 up there, which would be 5. And she has 5 as well. Interesting, you can see the earrings, right? Like, Cardathia, that we know Cardathia has the blue earrings hanging off. This woman's earrings aren't really earrings, but like shiny things hanging under her ears. Um, Again, I don't think this is, again, Cardathia is actually really evil. I think there's a lot deeper things in here. I think Cardathia is we're not going to be evil. I think if anything, because she's the resonator of both Sentinel and Threnodian, the Threnodian can play into that and take control of her. What we see here is when she is in control of herself and resonator with Sentinel, which, considering everything that we did, is important. Now, one thing to consider is the part where Frolova is like the truth of the dream, and then she just splits the sky open like a bloody curtain, and it's just like, that's interesting. I don't remember exactly where that was. It was relatively.
Reality beckons.
Yeah,
Have you glimpsed the
reality. I swear to Christ, Kuro. Gonna make me do this every time. Oh, oh yeah, give me that audio. Oh, heck yeah. She just splits this, and I waited too bloody long again, expecting it to go a little longer. There. Is it this idea because they talk about having an inverted tower in the sky, and we see a couple of like interesting floaty stuff even in Rinascita right now in 2.0. Is everything that we're witnessing here again just a facade? One giant facade created by either the Threnodian or the Sentinel, probably Threnodian, because hiding the truth and all that. And what's behind the curtain is actually like what's going on in the sky between the two of them. Hello, was that Sataku? I can't quite see your name there. Hello, welcome. So this is an interesting, again, a very interesting point that's being made here with Frolova. Obviously, the Fraxidus know some greater quote-unquote truth behind things, behind the nature of the Threnodians and the Sentinels. And I think Rinascita is hinting heavily at the idea that the Threnodians are just the flip side of the coin of the Sentinels. And maybe are even to an extent one in the same, just one side deemed as bad while the other side is deemed as good, or in the case of Imperator, maybe literally half the same entity. Do we really know if, because we know that Imperator is made up of two different entities, one of which is probably going to be the whale, the other of which is going to be the flying seahorse fella, combined together. Like, is one of them actually representing the Threnodian, and it's the combination of the two that give us this actual sentinel? It's, I don't know. We don't have a whole lot of. I'm sure there is information within the lore of various books and things that I've collected throughout exploring and whatnot. I just haven't bothered to care to read it. Because admittedly, if it's in the story, it'll be revealed hopefully at some point, because that would be good storytelling. The little Easter eggs are nice as well, but I don't have the time to go through them all. So yeah, and I think if there is that two sides of the same coin thing, then the good Cardathea, evil Cardathea is literally just whichever side of the coin is face up at the time, whichever side is able to pull the strings on Cardathea at that moment. And we'll eventually, I'm convinced she'll be playable, so I think we'll end up freeing her by the end of it. But yeah, I'm just curious as what's going to end up being in this update. Because what we saw in the earlier, I'm just going to go back here real quick. What we saw here was not all that impressive to me, right? Like, this particular trailer did not impress me that much. It's all of the stuff afterwards that I'm like, yo, wait a minute. Like, is the stuff with, get back into it here. Have you finished the story and spoken to Erdstos? He mentions that the statue of the Sentinel looks different. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The dude from the Black Shores. Yeah, the statue of the Sentinel looks different than the actual Sentinel in the Tethys system. But that could just mean that the Sentinel, as we know the Sentinel in the Tethys system, is the combined version of Seahorse and Whale. Or it could mean something else. Because again, what is the nature of the Seahorse? I'm assuming the Whale is the actual good guy who's just, again, there's just problems happening with it. There's stuff that's like messing with it. That being said, is the Threnodian the Seahorse, and then you combine them together, boom, you get full form of Sentinel? Or is the seahorse just a different form, a broken form, a 1/2 form of the Sentinel? Like that, I'm not too sure of. There is one thing though that I want to mention. It was around here, I think. Um, yeah, this part, right? Like this part. Is this stuff gonna be in 2.1, or is this going to be in some of the later updates? Obviously, the confrontation with Dark Cardothea is not going to be in 2.1. That is probably going to be later, I'm assuming. It's a heck of an assumption, but I'm still assuming it. But everything with her and like the idea of the Sea of Ghosts, the jellyfish, all of this leads me to think this might be 2.1 stuff. And if it was, why wasn't it in the the trailer thing? Like how what they're really trying to hide stuff. Um what made it interesting is the teaser for the story. Really. Yeah, that's what makes this live stream interesting because everything else hitherto is kind of like cool. The optimization stuff was really nice. I love the optimization stuff. Thank God we finally get artifact echo loadouts. Brain still thinking Genshin, not having those. They hinted at the whale a lot. Yeah, the whale is gonna show up a bit, especially we see the whale even. I slowed it down. You can see the whale in the background here. If you slow it down and look real close in the background, you see the whale right there, and he's moving. It's real hard to see. So the whale is going to be around here. This to me is 2.0, the 2.1 stuff because they also suspect that is connected to this siren. Now, is this the fish that they're talking about? I think the fish that they're talking about is the dude's fish that he was hugging. He's like, my waifu is a fish now, and she won't love him even as a fish or something. Will you love me if I were a fish? So I think this is 2.1 stuff, but where do we go from 2.1 to 2.2 to 2.3 to 2.4 to 2.5? Like, where's the divide here? And that I don't know. The whole patch 2.1 trailer, they show us underwater. This shows us underwater. The actual trailer itself, if you're talking this, the official trailer, does not show us underwater. It shows us under the vault, but we don't actually see underwater in this, unless we're talking this part with the whale. But
The Tidebreaker attacked us.
Yes, Phoebe. That's probably going to happen at the beginning. That's how we're going to get into where we are. Then everything else here just doesn't really show us much else. This also makes me wonder if we're underwater, how underwater exploration is going to work. But that's a whole other thing. In the end, they showed the ship going down the whirlpool. Yeah, the whirlpool is probably how we're getting here. Yeah. But they don't show that in this particular trailer. Like this is the 2.1 trailer. The one that they showed at the very beginning here, which did not have that whirlpool. We get the whirlpool here in this one, which is why I think this is so much more interesting, and I almost wish they led with that. Because originally, again, I thought 2.1 was going to be kind of almost filler-like. I'd just be like, okay, it's not bad, but it's not going to be. Whoa. This is showing a lot more here, which I'm liking. The jellyfish woman is probably later. They'd seen 2.0 when they didn't show the story too much. They showed a pretty hefty amount of that story, and all of the characters they showed in there showed up. I don't know. 2.0, I think, set very good expectations of what you see is what you get, because we damn well got what we saw in all of those 2.0 trailers. That much is for sure. You're hoping they add underwater exploration in 2.2 or 2.3. Interesting. I think whenever we get this underwater stuff is when we're getting Jellyfish Lady. Jellyfish Lady is going to show up. She is showing up when we get this underwater stuff. She also looks absolutely insane. Though, again, giving 5-star vibes. Where are the 4-star characters? Where are our 4 stars? Kuro, the players' hunger for 4 stars as well. And by players, I am speaking purely for myself. But like when every banner has like the same 3 characters back and forth, it's like we have Woohoo here, Yoo-hoo, whatever her name is, on the current banner. You're telling me Brandt's banner next update is also going to have Yoo-hoo? We just had a banner with Mortifee on it, with freaking Chicia on it. Now they're back. We need more 4 stars, please. Maybe not trying to show much. Yeah, that is what's going on, Andy. They are not trying to show a lot. That much my hope is that they've undersold 2.1. I actually hope they've undersold it by not showing too much. I hope they've undersold it a little bit so that when we jump into it, we're like, holy crap. Because again, it looks fun. It looked relaxing. I like the idea of the area, the little island, and the fishing seems. I'm curious about the fishing. I don't know if I'm going to like the fishing mechanic. To jump back to the other thing here. This for fishing. This doesn't really strike me as all too enjoyable. You're just clicking when it hits the middle. Yay. We already like have this for 50 gajillion million other things. This doesn't really feel like it's a fishing mechanic to me. It doesn't feel too inspired for that, but I do like the idea of fishing. I'm not sure if I'm going to like the boat stuff though. Just because it's gonna, to me, it's gonna feel like it's Wind Waker or something, which, you know, Zelda Wind Waker is nice. I like Zelda Wind Waker, but its boat admittedly is kind of boring for a game based entirely on the water. Like, again, the most fun part of it is finding new islands. I hope that the boat stuff here isn't going to be that bad. I hope the fishing stuff is not time gated like Genshin's or Infinity Nikki's. Of course, with Infinity Nikki's, keep in mind, fish are a legitimate resource for like crafting and stuff. It's kind of important. And that's different than what this is and Genshin's is for the most part. But since they have attached a shop to it, it leads me to believe might have time-gated fishing, or you've got to go from location to location with fishing. I like just relaxing and being able to sit there and just fish ad infinitum, but you know. You hope they undersold it too. It doesn't need to be 3 acts in one patch. 1 act for 2.1 is good enough. Yeah, like, I don't expect, and going into this, right, I did not expect them to have the same level of holy crap that 2.0 had, because it's not a new region update, right? Like, yeah, we're getting a new area, but it's not a new main expansion update. It's not like a new integer this update. What's the right term for when you go from like 2.0 to 2.3, like full version? Like, what's the proper term for this? I don't know. Like it's a point whatever version, right? Those usually aren't as exciting as the whole number versions. So I was not expecting it to be like, oh my god, wow, this is as amazing as 2.0's stuff was. 2.0's trailer, 2.0's live stream as well was just like, wow, that's really cool what they did. Everything with it was just like, holy crap. I don't have that same level of holy crap with this as I did with 2.0, and that's expected. I didn't come in here thinking I'd be like that. I was very surprised to see that in what we were shown with this, there just doesn't feel like, I was watching it and it was like, which parts of this? Here's the thing. Let's go back and watch this again. Now I'll point out what I mean, right? I'll point out what I mean with this. Cute. I like it. I think this is very pretty. Again, reminds me of something out of Sea of Thieves.
I've heard rumors that the Montelli Vault holds the most valuable treasure in all of Raguna. Aside from a handful of senior members of the Montelli family, no one knows the full layout of this vault?
So, for me, I'm wondering already, just from this, I'm like, okay, we're suddenly back into the vault at the Montelli family. Like, what parts of this are main quest and what parts are just character story quests? That's what I can't tell. I could tell the difference with that with 2.0.
Device from Lady Carlotta should have top security clearance, so you'll be able to operate the train echo.
I'm assuming that this stuff is part of the main stuff, the main quest. Because again, they made it seem like it was in the actual thing when they started explaining the events. But when I was first seeing this, I was like, what is this? And I almost thought it was like Zani's story quest. No, that doesn't make sense. She's not playable this update. Why would they do a story quest before she's even playable? It doesn't make sense. So I know that this now, after having seen the whole thing when they showed us, hey, it's a main event thing, that because they show it right here. New story content. Well, it's an exploration quest, actually. Hold up. Nah, this is an exploration quest. This isn't main story quest. This is exploration quest, which is cool that number one, it's fully voiced. That's gonna be cool. At least I'm assuming it's fully voiced based off of the voice lines we just heard. But that's not actual main story. How are we going from underground vault to a new island up north? Yeah, that too. What's the transition here? Why are we suddenly going from underground vault, which again, how is this vault underground? The Montelli vault is hovering above the sky, like above, it's like above an island. It's just flying basically. You have to take a weird bridge up there. Like, are we taking one of these trains to that area? I don't understand that. You know what I mean? They came off Sohov 2.0 and they need to follow it up with a main story chat. That's what I'm thinking because we ended, like, you get my idea, right? We ended with such a cliffhanger of so many questions. And when I saw this, my initial response was,
The device from Lady Carlotta should have top security clearance.
why are we back in this vault? Why are we back dealing with Carlotta's business? We know she doesn't have the answers to these questions we were left with. My first response with the whole vault thing, especially seeing it here, because again, I'm not fully convinced. It's an exploration quest. I'm not fully convinced that this is going to be like a Tethys Deep kind of exploration thing. Because if it was, number one, screw the trains. I have wings. Whee! Flight. Why do I care about the trains when I can just fly? There's that. Two, this doesn't seem big enough. It seems, I don't know, it seems very claustrophobic to me a little bit to be like a whole new area. But again, mainly I'm just like, why do I care about this? Why do I care about the Carlotta problems, the Carlotta stuff? We have so many questions that need some amount of answers, even hints at answers too.
So you'll be able to operate the train echo. Where's
And
that
then they
here for
open
now?
with
And
this.
the only way out is to get clearance from each of the depositories. That means
And honestly, when she said clearance from each of the depositories, my brain went fetch quest. They'll make the trains more of a quest gameplay. Probably. You'll probably need to take the trains to open up doors and stuff, probably. To just stop people from being able to say, screw it, we fly. Or they'll just disable your flight. And that will make me sad.
means going deeper into the vault.
Again, pocket ferret. We get to see Phoebe. I think Phoebe is cute. I like Phoebe. We get to see Brandt. I think Brandt is cool. I like Brandt. Then we get this. Now, this, to me, feels like we're getting main quest stuff a little bit.
The Tidebreaker attacked us.
He and his crew didn't.
But again, why are we going here? Like, we know... Are we going here because Phoebe wants to investigate the whale? Like, is that the reason? Because we know Phoebe... It was said, like, yeah, Phoebe's friends of Echoes. The whale has been showing aggression and has been around this area. Phoebe goes, yay, let's go. And then we end up there, Phoebe and Brandt. But the residents, they are like, bruh, the order bad, get out of here. which is a whole nother thing. I don't like the idea that this island is up north because it seemed to me that Penitence End was supposed to be like, that's the northern reaches. You go up there and that's all that's up there is that treacherous area. Now it's like, oh, well, actually, just beyond that is this happy-go-lucky fishing place where everything's all lackadaisical. What? This doesn't match the world building you set up in 2.0, especially because we couldn't see anything past freaking Penitence End. We can go up to the top of it, look out, and it's like, well, where is this place that's north of it? Why didn't the pilgrims just go, screw it, let's just keep going north. Screw Penitence End. Screw this penitence and all that. These dudes are up here just fishing. I want to go up there and just fish. Boom, and just go up there. I don't get it. Game you play is PGR. You trust Kuro, but heavily criticized 1.2 for being so bad. What, 1.2 Wuwa? I didn't even think 1.2 Wuwa was that bad because I thought that the event was really cool. It'd be a very dumb move to not have story for 2.1. Yeah, I think it would be incredibly stupid to not do that. So I'm hoping this is. I don't think it's going to be as good. I don't think I'm going to have as much of a, oh my god, but we'll see how it goes. I have faith in the other updates. This one, again, when I first watched this, I was like, this feels like it's a bit of a filler. Like 1.2, though, I liked 1.2's festival thing because it took this idea of this, oh, this is going to be a fun wishing festival, yay, kind of a thing, and was like, the first wish we have to deal with is the dude wanting the off himself. Like, what? Okay. Like, it took such an interesting, dark, but yet real tone and turn that I was like, you know what? I'm all right with this. In fact, I want more events like that. I want more events that are story driven and driven around characters because we have so many characters who we know literally nothing about. Kelcharo, we've got nothing on him. Yan Wu, nothing on him. Danjin, I think, actually had a story back in like the beta. I remember seeing cutscenes of Danjin in something. Gone. Even Yoo-Hoo. I hate Yoo-Hoo as a character, but she shows up in 1.3 for about 1.3 seconds, and then we never see her again. Now, admittedly, she is an annoying gremlin, but I would still like some amount of depth to her character, because she's just kind of there. Like, it just seems like there are so many missed opportunities that if they have story-based events, kind of like 1.2's, and really focus it around a few of these characters and have them voiced and have it, you know, like 1.2's main thing, you get to show off these characters more without necessarily having to force them into the main story. Heck, even Yinlin, right? Like, Yinlin only shows up for her story quest and then the Some Noir thing. I admittedly never did her story quest. There's quite a few of the 1 point cast that I never did their story quest. I never did Jian's, I never did Yinlin's, I never did Changli's. Those three. One day I'll go back and do them. I'll probably do them off stream though. I'm not that invested in their characters. But like, you know, some of them just don't show up outside of this. It's like, why should I care about these characters? They're not involved in anything. So I feel like the 1.2 style events should be there for that. And you can have that event alongside main story. Is it a lot for the developers to make in a short amount of time for an update? Yeah, honestly, yeah. But it's not impossible. There are some islands you can see northwest of Penitence End near Silver Moon Grove. Is this northwest of them, though? I think... I know near Silver Moon Grove, I do think you can see some stuff in the distance. I think I've seen it from Silver Moon Grove. I don't think I've ever actually seen it from Penitence End, though. But admittedly, I may not have been looking out far enough there to see. I do believe I've seen it from the Grove, though. Because I know from there I had been looking out the various areas. Heck, you can see Jinzhou from there. You can see Mount Firmament. So I guess maybe that's hinted at. It just seems very strange that it's north of there, though. Agreed. They need to have some junior devs or devs that aren't working on the big projects, to 1.x maps, and add stories for other characters. We need more stumble into areas in 1x. Yeah, why not? Yeah, sure. With that, I don't think that we've seen the last of Jinzo. I don't think that we've seen the last of Huang Long at all by any stretch of the imagination. So I do think we'll probably get more about them when we go back to that area. But you have to admit, right? Like the 1.0 story, like remember that part where we're gonna go and fight the Threnodian, and then everyone jumps down and is standing outside of the walls, which is like, what's the point of building walls if you're gonna just fight on the wrong side of them? But that aside, we all just jump down looking like budget Power Rangers, and then Yan Wu is there, and it's like, Yan who? Like, who are you? I've never seen you before, and he's just like, I will protect you with my fedora. Thank you, milady, but like, whomst? And then, like, if you didn't do freaking Lion Dude Ling Yang's story thing that they constantly threw in front of you at every moment, that you end up accidentally doing it all the time, he's just there and he's like, yeah, the lion dance troupe. It's like, you're dancers, dude. Also, it's just you. What troupe? It's like, it's literally just you right there. You're fighting in a war. I mean, I even thought it was silly that Verena was on the field. It's like, yeah, let's just let this kid come off to a battlefield. Like, what is this really the best that Jinzo has right now? Like, we can't get anyone else? Okay. Man. We're lucky the Overthrax overslept. But yeah, this stuff to me, that was a product of rush story rewriting. Yes, I know that 100%. I do plan to maybe go back and look at what the beta stuff was, if I can find like just like a story arc version of what all the beta stuff was, and maybe do a video on that and see like, yo, were all these changes justified? Were some things possible to be kept? Like, did Kuro overcorrect? Did they like, what was the I want to see some things, 'cause I do know that the story was darker. And I feel like there are some areas, like, honestly, I think Yang Yang should have died at the end of 1.0's stuff. Should have like overclocked and died, or if not died, overclocked and like been severely ill, like comatose or something like that. But again, that's it would have fit her narrative, I think, better. But yeah, this stuff here, right, I think is main
He
story.
braved the treacherous stormy sea and returned with immense wealth.
I think I sensed their pain.
Yeah, so this underwater stuff with this is in this. So, not crazy. This is here. We get to see this in the distance here. Is this like the ghost area where we meet Jellyfish Lady? Or over here. I'm not fully convinced that Jellyfish Lady isn't in this update, because we get to see so many jellyfish aesthetics and motifs throughout what we've seen. I want to say Jellyfish Lady is going to show up here. Are we going to get information about her? Nope. But she's going to be there. And similarly, perhaps to how Cartathea was in 2.0. She's going to show up, she's going to do her thing, and then it's just going to be like, yep, that is that, chief. Like,
And anger.
Looks like to claim Drake's treasure, one must pay a price equal to its worth.
I don't know about this whole Drake's treasure thing. My guess is that that is going to be Brandt's story quest, is hunting for Drake's treasure. I don't know what Phoebe's story quest is going to be. You know, in all of that, did we see anything that indicated Phoebe's story quest? Wait. No. No, they wouldn't do that, right? Don't tell me Phoebe's story quest is this stuff.
Us.
He and his crew did it.
Don't tell me. Well, hold on, right? Wait. If all
Indeed,
of
brave the
this,
treacherous stormy sea, and return with immense wealth.
I think
if all of this is attached to Phoebe's story quest, which now I'm beginning to think it is this going to be like 1.3 with Shorekeeper? With how Shorekeeper's quote unquote story quest was basically welcome to the Black Shores? Is that basically what they're doing here? They're going to use Phoebe's story arc because we didn't see anything about a Phoebe story quest as far as I'm aware. Not a specific thing. Let me skim through this real quick. Exploration quest. Brandt companion story. Yeah. I think we cracked the case here, folks. Login. Camera things, which I think is great. They're taking a hint from Infinity Nikki. Yeah, we have Brandt story. Lovely. Brandt story quest, which is again, Captain stage an impromptu performance or set on an adventure instead of speculating. Why not here to a captivating journey surely awaits. Yeah, I just checked the date. That ain't it. That must be for the beta. Might want to have gotten rid of that one, Chief. So Brandt story quest is going to be the Drake treasure. This stuff is going to be going to be Phoebe. Because Phoebe doesn't have a story quest. She is just going to be integral to that main story, and it's going to be centered around her like how Shorekeepers was. Rover should have been like, I don't care about your treasure. I'm trying to get answers about the Sentinel. Yeah, exactly. Get your treasure out of here. I want to know story. Huh. You know, I'm not bothered by this. I'm not bothered by the idea of they don't have Phoebe with her own story quest. Because let's be real, sometimes with the own story quest, they seem like they're just like these little isolated outings and they aren't all that important or good. So the fact that Phoebe is more of an integral character in the main story, I'm fine with. I think this is just going to come down to execution and scope. I don't know how I feel about the exploration quest in the vault, especially that it also includes Phoebe. Like, yeah, they're obviously forcing Phoebe down our throats a lot. Thankfully, I like Phoebe. I think that she has one of the more interesting characters so far because she's very devout, but she's a devout follower of a very corrupt faith. So I do like that, but I don't know how I feel about this. This is going to depend on execution. I don't know how I feel about her. Really not her in this situation, right? Her in the main quest, awesome. I don't know how I feel about her in the exploration quest because like how do we reconcile both of them theoretically being able to happen at the same time? That's what's going to get me. Unless they're not going to. Unless you're going to have to finish the main quest to be able to unlock the exploration quest, in which case, everything I just said doesn't make much sense or matter anymore. But I don't know. I think this update is it going to be as, oh my god, as 2.0's? No, and it doesn't have to be. I think it adds enough stuff, but I am concerned that it is not going to give us enough answers or hints at answers to questions that we have. It's going to add its own intrigue. It's going to have its own thing, its own, narrative qualities and whatnot. Obviously, I'm grasping for straws at the right word here. Like, it's going to be enjoyable, but it's not going to necessarily be exactly what everyone wanted, I think. It's going to be kind of like the Chrono Cross sequel to Chrono Trigger. People wanted Chrono Trigger 2. They got Chrono Cross. Objectively a good game, but because it is associated with what it came before, or what came before it rather, it gets a bad rap of not really being a good sequel. And I'm thinking 2.1 might fit into that, where it's a good update on its own, but because people want very specific answers to very specific questions and likely won't get those, it's not going to be regarded as well, or it might end up getting seen as a filler patch when it might not really be a filler patch. When you open with an exploration quest as like your opening seller, I do have some slight concerns there. But they have seemingly kept quite a bit of things in the dark, especially with what they showed at the end. So I have good faith overall that this is going to be a stepping stone into really springing this story forward into a propulsion of answers and more questions. And I think that this is going to be more of the you've reached the top of the roller coaster's ascent. Now it's time to go into the madness of the ride. And I think that's what this is going to be. This is going to be the top of that ascent, 2.1. And then from 2.2 onward, we're into the madness. They could have given us a random acolyte and it would have worked. True. That for the exploration quest, yeah. But then again, if they did that, like, if there's any tension between Zani and Phoebe, like if it was tension between Zani and random acolyte, we'd automatically pick the side of Zani because playable character, and we'd be like, nah, random acolyte's gonna end up being in the wrong because random NPC, like, whoopst are you? This was the issue, honestly, I had with Fenrico as a character, right? It's like, I looked at this dude and I'm like, no, you aren't the real Resonator. You aren't playable. Shush. Get out of here. You aren't gonna be crap. I see through your lies by your NPC nature. So I'm not entirely bothered by Phoebe being there on the exploration quest. I just wonder how they're gonna connect the two of these. Like, how does this quest, the main quest and the exploration quest connect? It just feels kind of disjointed and like it's just there. And I like there to be continuity. Like, so that's my big thing is the continuity there. But all in all, again, I think this is going to be fun. I think it'll be fun to stream. I think it'll be fun to explore. I'm very curious as to what they're going to do with the water exploration. It looks like they've kind of dodged underwater exploration that we were talking about earlier. By basically just creating Atlantis. Like, they made Atlantis, and in doing so, you have dodged the need for underwater exploration in the same way that you've gotten in, like, Genshin's Fontaine, which I guarantee you, this releases, everyone's gonna hate on this area and be like, you're gonna have so many of the people who hate on Wuwa needlessly just be like, this is just budget economia. It's like, can these games be their own different games, please? Like, I know I've made a video comparing trailers before, but, like, they are their own games at this point. Like, the separation is very evident, and each game does its own thing to its own strengths. For example, one thing I would like, and again, I forgot to put it in the freaking feedback survey last night when I did it, the character elements, like the idea, Phoebe Spectro, Brandt's Fusion, you know, Carlotta Glacio, whatever, they don't really matter. Outside of basic, like, resistances and weaknesses of the enemies, what's the point of these elements? What's the point of having characters who can only do, especially when you run into enemies that are completely immune to an element, like you run into certain things that are immune to, like, Spectro or whatever, and it's just like, well, crap. Or, like, I'll run my, like, Carlotta, Zezha, Verena team, and I'll run into the thing that's immune to Glacio, and it's like, well, Verena, time for you to do your thing, girl. I'll see you in 5. Like, You know, it's one of those things. It's like, what's the point of these elements on these characters outside of enemy weaknesses and resistances? They don't interact at all, these elements. Um, some of them like don't even necessarily seem to have a very clearly established theme to them. I think Spectro is more of like stunning and slowing and stuff like that. Arrow is grouping, but like Fusion, Havoc, what in God's name are these? Glacio, Carlotta can freeze, no other character can. Like, what's the point of them, right? And that's one thing that I think if I am to do a Genshin and Wuwa comparison, I'd compare to Genshin and be like, at least the elements react with each other and it makes sense. Like they do things, but that's what their whole combat's based around. Wuwa isn't based around that kind of combat, though I would like to see more interaction between character elements and see that those elements have some sort of significant effect. You like that, to be honest, because you can use any character. You're Chicia main, and it's nice to clear any content. Look, I mained Chicias for a very long time. Like, Chicia is great, and you can do that. I think you can still do that with, you know, with your characters, with the characters you want. But, like, let's assume, again, I'm not saying, like, I don't think that if you have the elements of the characters interact with each other, which is what I really would like to see, some sort of significance behind the elements, I don't think that would take away from being able to like solo clear things with characters. Look, crazy ass Danjin mains are always going to be crazy ass Danjin mains. There's somebody out there doing DDR Danjin runs, okay? Like, they're beyond fixing. You could sit there and take Danjin's weapon away, and they'll sit there and make her backhand the enemies until they solo things with Danjin. Like, at this point, I'm pretty sure somebody is going to, like, simultaneously be playing Danjin while playing Microsoft Flight Simulator and flying and circumnavigating the globe successfully to have Danjin beat the newest freaking boss getting added to the hologram. Like, there are people who like they're crazy. So I don't think having element interactions or interacting with each other or having some significance behind the elements, I don't think that that's going to take away from being able to solo things. But you have to keep in mind too, right? Like, the innate weaknesses and resistances play into this too. Like, you can play like crazy Danjin mains do, and go do like Danjin she's Havoc, right? Yeah, she's Havoc. You could play her into, you know, crownless hologram, and all of a sudden your damage is baby numbers or very heavily nerfed because crownless has an innate Havoc resistance. Or like the Heron, right? Like, so it's one of those things where it's like, okay, outside of just nerfing my character because of weaknesses or resistances, what do these elements really do? I would like them to be more significant. Like, if, for example, fusion was basically like fire because it has like a very fiery symbol. What if it did like a burning effect and we could have more effects like that? We're beginning to get some of that with Spectrofrazzle, but Spectrofrazzle just feels like, congrats, you have damage over time. Wouldn't that have been better again for fusion with burning? We have, again, Glacio obviously could freeze or immobilize in some way. Like, I don't know what Havoc could do. Confusion effect? Who knows? Havoc's its own world. Like, Arrow clearly is the grouping thing, but it doesn't have to just be that. I just feel like there needs to be something more unique to it. Or even if you can, like, combine elements. Like, what if Chicia and Yang Yang could combine that, you know, make a flaming tornado? Like, what if you could do certain combos like that with the combat based on the elements? Yeah, that would kind of require an entirely rebuilt formula, but I don't know. I would like to see more interaction. You never played Genshin, so you don't know how that would look to add elemental reactions. And again, I'm not saying it necessarily needs to be elemental reactions like Genshin's per se. It can be just more of having the elements stand out as their own thing. And I think that is something that the elements of Wuwa lack, standing out as their own thing. Because again, if you showed me like Camellia, right? I couldn't really tell if Camellia was Fusion or Havoc looking at her. Same thing, honestly, with Donjin. Color scheme wise is the same. And even then, what are they? What is like? What does what does Donjin do that specifically screams Havoc? Like, what is Havoc? What does that even mean as like an ability? As like what is that? Same thing with Fusion. What is that? Arrow is clear enough you're using wind, but in what sense are you using wind? Spectro, what is that? It seems to be more temporal magic, not what one would expect with like spirits. But again, there's just a lack of, I feel like there's a lack of clear differentiation and distinction of these elements. And that's just a me thing. And it isn't really here or there with the trailer. But yeah, that being said, and me forgetting to put that into the whatchamabob, the survey. Oops. I'm looking forward to exploring. Primarily the island area. I am still not sold on the vault thing. I don't know. I'm gonna have to explore it and experience it myself to be sold on the vault. I like the idea of the island exploration, especially the overworld of the island. I hope fishing is fun. I have my concerns about the mechanic, the actual fishing mechanic. I feel like it's not going to feel unique enough to fishing. And that to me is going to maybe limit it a little bit. I wish they had something more fishing oriented in the actual mechanic, not just where'd they put it? Not just this, not just clicking on things. That to me just doesn't seem like that's going to be particularly enjoyable in the long run. I want something that's more fishing. Like again, Sea of Thieves does it well. Even Nikki does it well. You can do something very basic like that. Yes, is it samey like other fishing games with fishing? Perhaps, but there's a reason why it is so common, and because it gives an experience of fishing. Just clicking in a circle, I don't have it. You're hoping we actually get fish because you need fish for cooking. I forget to do cooking in this game. Yeah, I don't think I've done much cooking in this game at all. And I know some of the food stuff is good, like increase echo drop chances. But yeah, I probably one of the first things I'm gonna mention on the survey when I get it for this update is the fishing mechanic does not feel like fishing. It's just you're clicking button, and it's not giving a fishing experience. That's again just from first impressions. Maybe I'll jump into it, play it, and be like, "Holy crap! I've never fished this." Even when I went fishing in real life, this feels more amazing. Which, considering how bad I am at fishing in real life, it probably will. But that aside, all in all, I think there's some hits and some misses potentially with this one. But because so much is still left in the air with the trailer, I'm optimistic. That's a screen to come back to. Here, we can stare at her a little bit. I'm optimistic about what this update has to offer. I feel like they have given us plenty of hints here at the end where it's like, well, which stuff's going to be in 2.1, which stuff won't. Maybe everything will be in 2.1 and we'll just be like, holy crap, we got jebaited so hard with everything else. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think there's stuff that's going to be in 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5 that they just lightly teased at. So I'm looking forward to it. And this has been, we started at 10. It's been 3 hours that I've been talking about an hour long, not even a full hour long thing. Welcome to the Omega Yap tax. That is me. Later on today, probably in a couple of hours, I want to say maybe around like 3-ish or something like that, maybe. I'm gonna be back and we're gonna do an Infinity Nikki stream. I know, very different game. Do you like gacha game with great exploration, but instead of cool combat, you have dress up? It sounds dumb. It's actually really fun. And we're gonna do that story stuff. We're gonna do more of that story stuff into there. Because I just want to be able to stream it. I haven't had a chance to stream it in a very long time, but I also want to give myself time like tomorrow to, you know, exist. I want to do some baking. I want to, potentially hang out with my girlfriend when she gets back from her competition if she is awake. She kind of slept through all of last Sunday after her competition. So we'll see if she is alive come tomorrow. Yeah, so I want to make sure to have time for that. So that's why I'm probably going to do a double stream today. We got the reaction here, and then in a couple of hours, probably about 2-ish, maybe hours, we'll get a little bit of Nikki, and we'll push through some story stuff to unlock new things. And then yeah, and it'll be a good time. You want to be hyped for 2.1, but the way they presented it got me worried. You hope it's decent, a bridge to 2.2 anniversary patch. Yeah, I think it is going to very much. Well, anniversary patch won't be. You're talking 6 weeks. The anniversary patch, will it be? Anniversary patch won't be 2.2. Because 6 weeks from now will take us to March, and then 6 weeks from that's only going to take us to early May. No, May. It'll be like midway through 2.2. No, I think you're right. Yeah, it will be. It'll be midway through 2.2. You're right. No, 2.2, 2.3, one of the two. Either very early 2.3 or it's going to be very late 2.2. Because it's 6 week cycle, right? It's a 6 week cycle for each update. So if we get this literally next week on like, when are we getting this update again? Hold up. February 13th, right? So February 13th, we're getting this update. So that's going to be Wednesday, Thursday of next week we get this update, yeah? Then 6 weeks from now is basically going to take us from mid-February through March to the end of March, pretty much, right? This is going to take us to the end of March into, let's just say, start of April. And then mid-May is going to be when 2.2 ends. But Wuwa came out late May, so yeah, I think it's going to be the very start of 2.3. But anyways, this has been fun. I'm hopeful for 2.1. I have my concerns, but I am hopeful. With that being said, I'm going to get going, but I will be back in a couple of hours with Infinity Nikki. I'll make a waiting room in a little bit. I have to make a thumbnail and everything for it. But once I do, I will we'll be back. We'll do some Nikki, maybe talk more about Wuwa while we do Nikki because brain runs on Wuwa. Thank you guys for being here. I know this was a earlier stream than usual. I usually don't start until noon. It's 1 p.m. now, but I wanted to do the double stream and then yeah. And it's also a very small stream because who wants to watch me react to something a day late? Welcome to me working. But yeah, we'll get Nikki, which will also probably be very small because it's Nikki. And then yeah, it'll be great, and we'll go from there. So thank you guys, and I'll be back in a couple of hours with Nikki, and you guys take care.